Antonio Sports Center.
The NBA playoffs continued last night as the Milwaukee Bucks fell again to the Indiana Pacers, 123-115. The Freak had 34. All 5 Pacers starters were in double figures. Oklahoma City continued to be dominant as they took down the Grizzlies 118-99. The series moves to Memphis. The Lakers clamped down on the Minnesota T-Wolves, took them back to 1995. Final score 94-85. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hump Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. How we doing? It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 36 hours, 59 minutes, and 27 seconds away from the NFL Draft.
I feel like that thing's going up.
I will say
Not
this.
going down.
36 hours doesn't seem like as ridiculous as it has been all week.
But
Now
it feels like
all
last
right.
month you said 61 hours. Last month.
Yeah. I think I said 80-something hours. I mean, it was ridiculous. But now I'm like, okay, now I could say 36 hours. That's like a day and a half.
I hate countdown clocks of any sort.
Do you?
Well, I mean, you and I in our business, we live by the second.
Yeah.
You know, we count down to the and go out kind of stuff.
54:50.
Yeah. So when I leave here, I don't like to be bound by the shot clock.
Okay.
I like the soft ending baseball provides. You know what I mean? I like to just be done when I'm done.
Okay.
Just
I'm,
saying. I don't like the countdown. Just tell me it starts at 7. You don't need to say, 7 is 24 hours, 17 minutes, and 16 seconds away. So be ready.
I don't like countdowns when they're long. I do like countdowns when they're short. I like when I was in the Army, there were guys who would keep a whiteboard in their room, and it had how many days until they
We used to call them two-digit midgets.
until they got out. But some of these dudes would
Is
be
that a
like,
term y'all used?
some of these days it'd be like 761 days, and I was like, that's a miserable.
You got to find another
existence,
way,
dude.
bro.
Like,
Yeah.
Jail?
761 days. Like you just started.
Yeah, man.
Like, you ain't getting out of here.
That's depressing.
But then when you go in and you see like somebody's got like 11 days, it's like, oh, now that's kind of badass.
Oh,
But-
10 days and a wake up.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But
what movie is that from?
well, I don't know.
I don't know, but that's what we used to say.
I think that in the movie Platoon, they're talking like 3
four,
and a wake up.
4 and a wake
Yeah.
up. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's just that's
in the
just
Nam.
military lingo.
Oh, okay.
That's the lingo that us soldiers use.
Yeah.
When you were in the blank,
Yeah, when I was in the
in the stuff,
when I was in the stuff, we used to say that.
you can always tell when you've been in the stuff.
Yeah.
Got that 1,000 yards.
Back when I was in Nam, and I don't really like to talk about my days in Nam.
Me either. See, I can actually say that, and people go, "It's possible, maybe, maybe young."
One of my favorite things, my aunt, God bless her, she's like, she's one of these ultra patriots,
Oh yeah,
like
I got you. I bet she's got some stuff in her basement just in case.
No,
No,
she's
not one
not
of
that
them.
kind.
Okay.
No, but she's the kind who's got like teddy bears holding American flags and like
okay.
I got you.
you know. it-
Normally those folks have stuff in their basement, but I got you. She's
Oh,
not all the
no,
way
she's
down
not
there.
one. She's not one of those. But every year on Veterans Day, she'll like make a post about all the veterans in our family, and she'll talk about her. She's like my father was my grandpa and World War II vet, and my Uncle Tommy. He was a Vietnam vet, and she write about that, and my nephew AJ, also a Vietnam vet. And this was on Facebook, so I don't have Facebook.
So everybody's like,
So my wife is like, babe,
How old are you
your
again?
your aunt thinks
when you were in the Nam.
you were in Vietnam, and I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, she made this post and talked about, like, she posted a picture from you in the military, and it like talked about you being in Vietnam. And I was like, maybe just, gently nudge her in the fact that that's not true.
Well,
And then my wife was like, Aunt Donna, AJ wasn't he wasn't in Vietnam. And she was like, really? What
was there?
when was he? What conflict? And it's like,
Well, there really wasn't so much. Well, you were in during
AJ's
Afghan. You were there.
40-something years old, and
But
she's
you
like,
served in a conflict, though.
well,
It wasn't like
I
you
mean,
just
I was
served.
in during 9/11. So, but
Well, that's Afghanistan.
yeah, but but she's like, when my wife like corrected her, she was like, well, are you sure?
How old is he?
Are you sure he wasn't there? And it's like, what? First of all,
What do you mean, are you sure?
yeah, if Uncle Tommy, who's
Think of let's do the math, Aunt. What's her name?
Donna,
Aunt Donna. Let's do some math.
let's do
How
some.
old's your brother? Let's do some addition and subtraction real quick.
Yeah,
I actually served with guys in that. Were
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I served with dudes who were in Desert Storm.
That's me.
Desert Shield.
See, I was Desert Shield.
Yeah, the old dogs when I got there were
See, I'm an old dog.
they'd talk
Yeah.
about the desert.
Back in the day,
And then when it was time to go back to the desert, they were like, mother,
we got to go back
back to the dirt
to
hole.
the sand yada yada.
Back to the dirt hole.
Oh man.
But yeah, I don't like to talk about my time in Nam, but
But I can't because I was Agent Orange.
let's just say I did some stuff that
I don't like talking
Yeah.
about it. Me and John Rambo served together. I'll leave it at that.
yeah, there's things that I just don't like to rehash. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really talk about it.
I
But
get
just
that.
know,
Let's get
Vic,
the flashbacks.
zoom in on me, but give me the camera to myself.
Okay.
It was hell.
Well,
Hell on earth.
do you remember there
And
used
I
to be a
came
thing?
out the other side.
The Vietnam
Covered in
guys
Satan's.
got to get away with. There was a thing. This was a reel where people would have flashbacks.
Yeah.
Now I don't recall that happening in it from other wars, but Vietnam dudes were allowed to have flashbacks. Where they were like, "Oh my God, that guy thinks he's in Nam right now."
Well, I think in World War II,
Were they having those
nobody
too?
cared.
Well,
Well,
I don't
yeah,
think we realized.
Yeah.
Like maybe we realize now, but that was like a fairly common thing. Like the
Well,
dude
apparently
always would be-
Vietnam is when PTSD was invented.
yeah, or at least we could talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
I don't know
became a
about dudes
real
having
thing, yeah.
flashbacks. But back then, guy suddenly thought he was in the Nam.
I think because Vietnam was the first war where there weren't like
Defined.
there weren't really rules, there were no breaks, there was no safe place, there was no
Right.
Well, to have served immediately after Vietnam, it did shock the military. The military wasn't. It was going through a lot because they
Yeah.
were trying to figure out what happened.
well, also that was a time when like it wasn't the military wasn't like widely beloved.
Well,
Which-
no, you're right.
And that's something that goes through cycles in our country.
Well, I got in '84, so it was a decade after Vietnam. Reagan was in office. Top Gun was #1. So the military had taken a bit of a bump. It was the
You guys
stature
were
was a
back-
bit higher
back
because
up.
Reagan was in office.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
flag was waving, and we were the country on the hill. And it was a little bit easier then, but it was funny to be serving at that time with all the vets who are kind of like, "What about me, man?"
Yeah.
So
So
now everybody's happy with us.
when I got in '98, no one cared.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're a soldier, okay.
Yeah.
About September 12th, 2001,
Then
I was a hero.
the world changed. It did.
I was a hero.
Well, to be in San Antonio was to be insulated in the 70s because this was a military town. So there wasn't a lot of there were some, I mean, everywhere there was. But to leave San Antonio in the mid 70s and go other places, being part of the military was shocking. I mean, everybody I went to high school with parents was in the military.
Right.
Everybody. And to go places where people were protesting what our dads did.
I was like, what?
Wow, man, just unbelievable.
Well, I mean, it's like being in Houston and people like going to a town where they're protesting oil and gas existence.
Like, what are you talking about? That's what Putin
How do you
puts
guys
food on the
how do you guys
table.
live
Right.
without this stuff?
So
Like,
it was such a shock to be so insulated and to leave and go places and see that. You're like, man, I could see why people were angry.
yeah, it is.
How dare you?
It's weird, man. And it goes like now we're in a time again where people they're not really patriotism is not at an all-time high.
Well,
Let's
there's
just,
there's thems and us's. There's them
well,
and us.
it is more so than ever. There's
Yeah.
thems and us. And typically there's a group of people who are super pro-military, and there's people who are not super pro any kind of military action. And then the ones that are super pro-military, they only want to send the guys who aren't.
Yeah.
It's like,
You don't like it? You go then.
yeah. Nobody wants to go do it, but they want to talk about it. And thus is the world we live in today. Enough of that, though.
How late did you stay up last night?
I stayed up till about 10:45 or 10:50.
Because the sports gods were kind to us last night. The late games were decided
Boy,
fairly
sure
early.
doesn't feel that way to me.
Well, I mean, they were decided early. If you could get past the sadness, if you had money riding, or
Yes.
you got an early night because both games were over fairly early. First period, I would say, in the hockey, and I would say first quarter in the basketball.
Yeah, the Lakers came out and said we ain't playing around anymore. The Golden Knights, which I stayed up, I told myself I'm at least gonna try. Like if I'm gonna give it the old college try and support the boys. And then the boys came out in the first period and they were down 3-0, and I said, "Screw the boys, I'm going to bed." And that was it. Pledger texted the group chat at like 10:45, like doing a wellness check on AJ. It was right after the third goal had gone in, and I turned the light off. I was like,
So instead of lighting the lamp, you turned it off?
I said, I'm done.
Off with
done.
the lamp. I'm going
Done.
to bed. Are they out? Are they done? They
No,
down
it was just the
0-2?
first game. It's 1-1. No, they won the first game.
Oh, okay.
They won the first game. Yeah, and they're fine. Nope. There's no cause for alarm, Rob. None at all.
I wouldn't
None
be
at all.
concerned.
But they're the best home team in hockey, so I didn't think they would lose a home game, and they did. So sometimes it happens, but they'll get it back. I'm sure they'll get it back. But it did save me gave me an extra hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep.
That was only interrupted by a violent thunderstorm.
Yes, that happened too.
And if you are getting up,
and then
streets
a
are wet.
stupid alarm clock woke me up.
Well-
It's like, what the hell? No, yeah, be careful out there on those streets because I learned today that there's a couple swimming pools between my place and work that are unmarked. They're just
Well,
the
you
middle
have
of
to
the
be
highway.
from here to know where they are.
All right.
That's part of the baptism of being a San Antonian. There are certain streets that were going to be underwater after about 2 inches of rain.
I hit one, and it was like going 60 miles an hour over a low water bridge.
It's horrifying. There's nothing more terrifying than that. In the driving rain, hitting a puddle, a 6-inch puddle, doing 60.
Yeah, not ideal.
Ooh, boy.
So I was a little more cautious the rest of the way, but it's a rainstorm. It's not that bad. So we're all right.
As we say around here, don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going.
We'll get you where
Settle
you're
in.
going. We will talk some sport today. We'll talk some NFL draft, as like I said, now 36 hours, 47 minutes, and 30 seconds away from the NFL draft, which, by the way, the worst part is that countdown's going to hit, and then it's going to be like, welcome to Green Bay. The draft isn't even started. It's not the first pick.
And
We need to count down to when.
the Titans are on the clock, so we have to add 15 minutes. Yeah, so it's 36 plus 10 intro and 15 on the clock. So really 25 minutes unless they're going to just stand on the podium, and they're not. They're going to make you sweat. They're going to use all 15. They're going to make us all wait. That's TV drama.
I mean, maybe they're waiting on a trade.
Well, Jerry tells us there's some deals in the works, maybe.
We'll talk about that as well. I think that's Jerry lying, but you never know.
How dare you accuse that man?
I think Jerry's
He
telling
is negotiating.
He's telling a fib is what he's doing.
He is visualizing, actualizing,
Maybe so. Maybe he is actualizing.
monetizing all at once.
So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs. That I'll tell you. I think there's a couple series that we might as well wrap them up. They are over.
Terminator.
The poor Grizzlies. They're just so outmatched. We'll talk about that and plenty more. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. This rain has caused havoc all over. We've got closures on 35 northbound Evans to FM 1518. That's a 75-minute delay. Closed major accident. Traffic stop from Weidner. Looks like you're still diverting traffic onto the frontage road. Another closure on 151 eastbound Callahan to Old Highway 90. This crash involving an overturned 18-wheeler. 35 southbound, that off-ramp to New Laredo Highway. Off-ramp blocked as well. 281 southbound 410, 2 left lanes blocked with a wreck, and I-10 eastbound Wurzbach, 2 right lanes blocked with an accident. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Carbach Brewing was not born in San Antonio, Texas, but they have certainly gone out of their way to make San Antonio their second home. We had the head brewer come in, and he said when they first started to reach outside of Houston, San Antonio was the place they wanted to be, and does it show. Carbach beer is all over our great city, from their in-your-face flagship IPA, Hopadillo, to the Ziegenbach, to their best seller, the Love Street, their Kolsch-style blonde. There is something for everyone in Carbach's lineup, and it is all over the place. Of course, you're going to find it at the grocery stores. Of course, you're going to find it at the liquor stores, but it's also at a bunch of bars and restaurants around town. They wanted to make this their second home, and that's what it's become. So when you're out, you're watching the games at your local sports bar, your local restaurant, your local hangout, you're thinking, I want to elevate my beer game a little bit. Well, friend, wherever you're at, they probably have some Carbach either on tap or in cans. So when you're out and about doing your thing, go ahead and make sure to ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is Wednesday. We're going to talk a little Brahmas football. Peyton Pardee, the interim head coach, will join us.
Pardee time after they got their first win, getting ready for their home opener, plus the latest draft rumors as we get closer and closer to Thursday's first round.
And we're in full swing of the NBA playoffs. All that talk as well.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
All right. This is the segment where we do Q&A with Vic. We got a lot to talk about, Vic.
Sorry.
What do you mean?
I mean, you seem
I
tense.
am out.
You seem tense, Vic.
What's going on, Vic?
I'm sweating in
Can you,
here.
What's going on?
Why don't you
man?
grab a seat and hang out for a minute?
Yeah, let's talk about what.
This is what happened.
Vic, we got some. We got our drinks from a well-known coffee chain.
Here, I'll listen in the YouTubes.
Okay, and Vic wanted the. He was like, "Yeah, give me one of those green things." And the green thing is the matcha tea, which I don't care for.
I had never had. You brought some last time.
No, you requested it last time.
I did. That's what I'm saying.
It was a mistake.
And I ordered it because I thought it was something entirely different. I didn't know it was dirt that had been dyed green.
Yeah, and Vic, he actually likes it, so he ordered it today, and it's already. And I think the reason he ordered it is because when he has coffee from that chain, that well-known chain, he instantly has to release. Turns on the boiler.
The boiler would be
hot water heater.
I would say the boiler is the appropriate term. It gets his boiler up.
But then I think he didn't. He thought maybe this green thing wouldn't, but it's the same result. So Vic, he's taking a quick little hiatus. He'll be back.
I wonder which one he chose. The one with the new door.
I think he always goes to this one down here.
You notice we have a new door hinge on that one down there?
I didn't, because I always go to the other one.
Oh, you go to the other one?
I always go I like the privacy of that one.
Yeah, that one, it's private until it's not.
Yeah, I guess
you know what I mean?
Once one person goes in there.
There's no lock on there. If you're going to have just one stall, there should be a lock on the door.
But there's also a urinal.
I know, but either way, there should be a lock on that one.
I don't think so.
Because I have been in there, literally, and someone has gone and having a conversation, just held the door open, and you're sitting in the stall.
Oh, well, that's a
lot.
lot.
What I'm saying. It's private till it's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
So maybe we should have a lock. I'm not kidding. I've literally been sitting in there, and I'm like, yo.
And they're like, hey,
oh, sorry. You couldn't see the shoes?
Oh, man. Well, we had a couple game twos yesterday.
We're defining who we are. I can tell you that.
I've got to give some credit to the Lakers, who I kind of expected them to fight back, and they did. And not only fought back, they said, no, what happened the first game was BS. This has now become, I think, one of the more interesting series. Not just because it's 1-1, but because we have seen we've seen two different versions of both these teams.
Yeah.
And the Lakers clamping down on the defensive side was, I think, if you're a Laker fan, really promising.
Well, we talked about this yesterday. And I told you, the reason that Redick was voted as I think, a really undervalued coach is the defense that he talked his team into playing that last month of the season. They led the league in a variety of the most important stats because he did get them playing. We saw that in combination with just a very frustrated offense. And Julius Randle, his next assist will be his first. That guy is a black hole. And you know what? They realize that. So they put the ball in their hands so you can win it. Nobody else will. And if I'm Minnesota, that's the Minnesota team that we saw most of the year. Confused, ball hogging, one-on-one basketball, defensive lapses, not getting back. The little things in the playoffs that just eat you alive. This was their lowest output in 2 years. So a lot of this was on them, but the defense was pretty amazing.
A couple of the guys that really carried them through last year. Remember last year we were talking about Mike Conley and how awesome he was playing? And you were like, I never liked Mike Conley.
I think he will never be a successful. There's something about him that I've never liked.
But you remember last year during their run, he was playing great.
He did, and he almost had me convinced.
And same as Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns, who you generally don't like, was like playing out of his mind. You can tell they miss him. But and the difference between him and Julius Randle is at least Cat. You're right. It does feel like Cat, once he gets the ball, he might find a better option. Julius Randle, once he gets the ball, it's going up. But Mike Conley last night was a 0 on offense. Like he was just bad. And Jaden McDaniels.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Jaden McDaniels last year was so good in the playoffs. 3 of 11 from the field last night. And even Anthony Edwards was inefficient. So
it's 2 games in a row for Edwards. I mean, he really just looks out of sync. Not for lack of effort. I think he's doing everything he can. It's just not working for him.
Well,
I will say this. I think Minnesota's in trouble. I really do. I think that what happened last night seems to be not completely repeatable. You're not going to hold a team to 980 points again. But the way that they played them, they have forced Minnesota's hand. Now the reaction has to come from a couple of players who aren't very good at reacting. So we'll see if they can react. I've never had a lot of faith in their coach. So we'll see what happens. But I'll tell you what, that was as thorough a win as the Oklahoma City win in Game 1 at Memphis was. I mean, it was a dispatching of the Timberwolves.
I don't know. It ends up being a 9-point win. The Thunder did win by 53 points.
Yes. No, I mean, as far as how I felt 3 quarters in, I felt like Minnesota was like, there is nothing we're doing that's working. I mean, granted, at the end, I'll be honest, I didn't see the last 10 minutes of the game, so I don't know what they did to get themselves back into even shooting distance, but that first half was ridiculous.
Yeah, they did dominate early on. The Thunder, Game 2 was not quite like Game 1, but it was dominance.
Let's do this because they were so good, AJ. What was the worst thing you saw about them? I mean, that's the only way we can talk about this Oklahoma City team because they didn't do anything poorly. But what was the worst thing that you saw the Thunder do last night?
I thought that they came out of the half a little sluggish. I thought maybe like for the first time they kind of sat on their laurels for a minute, but it didn't last long. And there was – it's going to sound stupid because it was – I mean, they were up by – and for me, I was sweating it because I did bet –
14,
I bet 14 and a half. And it was kind of on that number late.
About 6 minutes to go is at 11. And I thought, oh, this might be tighter. But
the Thunder did something in the last 2 minutes that I was like, oh, man. There was a play where it looked like it was going to be a breakaway.
Uh-huh.
And Chet Holmgren,
I know the play you're talking
ran the court and swatted the ball off the glass, got back and got a dunk. And it was like, and he was like pumping the crowd up. And it in a game that for me wasn't quite decided,
but it was
for
decided.
the Thunder, for them, it was over. Like this was, we're talking about a minute left. There was no comeback to be made from 16 points in a minute. So I was just sweating the number. But the Thunder, they don't quit. They don't quit playing hard, and it's almost like the Houston Cougars. Like it feels like they're always they play the same way in minute 1 that they do in minute 48, and there's something to be said for those teams from like a culture standpoint that even when they don't need to play their hardest, they still play their hardest.
Because they're so deep, they're fresh.
Maybe that's what it is.
Dudes, and they can get back and do. Now, that hustle play, that was above and beyond what we saw from them. But that's home court fun. But it was a nail in the coffin is what it was. They're just so good. The only thing that I could take away from last night is Shea isn't playing very well. I mean, I shouldn't say that. His offensive stroke, his shot it doesn't feel good to him. It took him, 28 shots last night? And, it was forceful. They kept feeding him to kind of so he can find his groove. That was the only thing that I looked at that team last night that was even of slight concern. They are so devastating at every point of attack. They turn you over, and they don't turn it over. They get second shots, and I don't know what their percentage is on second shots, but I bet it's over 60%.
So not only do they rebound you, they get it back up. And a lot of their assists come on that second rebound. So their offensive sets begin on their rebound. You can't beat a team like that.
No.
They're already running backdoor on you before the rebounder has the ball. Some of the stuff they do is ridiculous.
And you're right. It wasn't the most efficient game for Shea, but the thing is, they made it so difficult on Ja Morant on the other side that it was the same thing. They were both it felt like 10 of 30 or whatever. But the difference being when Ja doesn't go off, the Grizzlies don't go off. If Shea doesn't go off, it's okay. Jalen Williams will, whoever. Last night,
it's Aaron Wiggins again.
Alex Caruso's.
Where did Alex get that stroke?
I don't know.
They have really worked on his shot.
But obviously, Jalen Williams, another big game. Chet had a big game. They just, there's too many of them, and there's never a moment where they put somebody on the floor and you go, oh, this guy again. Like Cason Wallace comes out and you feel like, well, they're not going to lose much when he's on the floor.
This is a very good team. I would like to see Memphis offer some sort of struggle because it's going to get tougher on OKC. At some point, you don't want to have to go through adversity, but I want to see this team fight back. I mean, they're heading into some much murkier waters than they're in right now. Memphis is terrible.
The Clippers or the Nuggets will give them more of a fight.
If I'm diagonal, I want this thing over fast, or let's give me a loss. Give me something to get my kids going, because right now, by the end of the game, remember when they cut to the bench, and it's Caruso and Jalen kind of laughing on them, and Jalen was laughing at Caruso because he went up to dunk a breakaway and laid it up.
Yeah,
he turned and said, "When you cannot dunk, remember to lay up." That kind of stuff, and they're laughing in the third or fourth quarter of a playoff game. It's easy for them now. Easy.
But the thing is, though, their intensity's not changing.
No, but
and that's what I appreciate. And that's why I worry less about them.
Well, I agree. But when you've got a young team, adversity is coming. You're going to have to struggle through something, and the sooner the better, in my opinion. So if I'm diagonal, I'm happy with this because my team is rounding into form. They are as hot as they have been all year. You want to be able to maintain that through some strife, and Memphis doesn't look like they're going to be able to offer them anything. This looks 4 games fast.
I'll give the counterpoint on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. This rain has caused havoc all over. We've got closures on 35 northbound Evans to FM 1518. That's a 75-minute delay. Closed major accident. Traffic stop from Weidner. Looks like they're still diverting traffic onto the frontage road. Another closure on 151 eastbound Callahan to Old Highway 90. This crash involving an overturned 18-wheeler. 35 southbound, that off-ramp to New Laredo Highway. Off-ramp blocked as well. 281 southbound 410, 2 left lanes blocked with a wreck, and I-10 eastbound Wurzbach, 2 right lanes blocked with an accident. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Join us for San Antonio's premier Fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by HEB, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta!
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textline.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text TRUST to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text TRUST to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text TRUST to 200-300. That's TRUST to 200-300. TRUST to 200-300.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. Your San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for the Viva Fiesta Viva Brahmas home opener this Sunday, April 27th at 2 p.m. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Get your tickets today at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com for tickets. Our town, our team, our herd.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
If you've been waiting and waiting to get your eyes taken care of, tired of wearing those glasses, tired of wearing those contacts, what are you waiting for? Now is the time to get it done. At Manrique Custom Vision Center, Dr. Manrique prides himself in getting you out of those glasses or contacts with his blade and pain-free LASIK, which is totally safe and comfortable. It will give you the best possible vision, and you can throw out the glasses and contacts. They've got over 25 years of experience, and they've done over 72,000 laser vision corrections. They offer financing to all with up to 36 months interest-free. Give them a call today to set it up. 210-354-2020. Come and see the Manrique difference for yourself. Every patient benefits from a customized vision plan that they bring to life with state-of-the-art technology, a variety of options to help make your treatment an investment you can afford and the right people. Change your vision, change your life today. It's Manrique, 210-354-2020.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
So we're talking about the Thunder. I think because I could picture this Nuggets Clippers series being just a total brawl, like maybe going 7 games. The best thing for the Thunder would just be to win their 4
get
and
the hell out of
sit.
here. This isn't good for anybody. It really isn't. I mean, your team's running hot, and you're not going to get any hotter until Shea finds his shot, which is imminent. It'll happen. I mean, he's MVP. You just want to – now it's about staying healthy and prep because Memphis offers nothing. You're going to get their very best in the next game for a quarter, and then you're going to get their very best in Game 4 because that's a closeout. So you're going to get a little bit more than the team on the road expecting to go home and finding their spark. But I get the sense that Memphis has fulfilled the I got a built-in excuse part of the thing.
Yeah.
So I just don't expect much from them. Stay healthy and get the hell out and try to maintain as you wait for your next opponent. I just can't imagine a comeback.
See, the Game 3s, I want to look ahead to odds for Game 3s as the series will shift
I'd put it
to the other venue. The Knicks at the Pistons. What do you think that would be?
Pistons in 6.
Pistons +1 at home.
Oh, see, no love for the Pistons.
No.
None. Okay.
I think the Pistons are winning Game 3.
Yeah.
Thunder at the Grizzlies on Thursday.
I'd say 10.
Oklahoma City -8.5.
8.5.
I think they're.
That's right.
I think they'll win by 10. Nuggets at the Clippers.
Oh man, pick them.
Well, remember, the Clippers have been favored in both games at Denver.
Yeah, but it's still Denver. Down 0-2, so they're not giving Denver any love.
No, it's 1-1. Remember?
1-1, but I think it's a pick 'em.
Clippers -5.
Wow.
Yep.
No love for Denver at all.
Pacers at the Bucks. Now the Bucks, we'll talk about the Bucks in a minute, but
poor Giannis.
The Bucks look dead.
Yeah.
And
poor Giannis, man.
God, they were like, but Dame Lillard's back, and about 3 minutes after Dame Lillard was back, I was like, oh, maybe Dame should still be chilling at home.
He ain't back.
Resting.
That poor guy. Yeah. Did you see Giannis
He was like, oh, yeah, I was
game?
a little winded. You think?
Dude, the blood thinners have. I feel bad for Dame.
I do
too. Bless you for trying to come back, but that wasn't pretty. I can't imagine. I mean, you got not only is Giannis alone and they don't have Dame, but suddenly the Pacers have found their cruise gear. They're looking really good.
Tyrese Halliburton's yapping. It's like, oh.
Wow. I mean, this is the team we thought we'd see. I mean, it's finally here.
Bucks -4. So there's some expectation that the Bucks will bounce back. How about Lakers at the Timberwolves for Game 3?
Wow. That after I think after the first game, I still think the Timberwolves are favored at home.
3-point favorites. Total in that game, 206.5, which is one of the. It's not quite as low as the Magic Celtics and the Warriors Rockets games, but it's close. But yeah, the Bucks just feel like they need. I don't know what they need actually, because I would say they need Giannis to be a superhero, but he kind of has been, and it doesn't really matter.
I think what the Bucks need to do is hire themselves some Nico Harrison and let him go to work.
Oh, trade Giannis for
Giannis. If they don't trade him, this dude is going to leave in the middle of the night.
Maybe they'll trade Giannis for Chris Paul.
Maybe they'll do that. I'm just saying, watching Giannis post game last night, you don't listen to the words he's saying.
He's gone.
Look at it.
He's gone.
He is that poor guy, man. He looks just brokenhearted because he knows there's no cavalry coming over the hill, man. No. It is me alone in this foxhole.
Although I give some credit, Bobby Portis played pretty well last night or yesterday afternoon, whatever you want to call it. He was 6 of 11 from 3.
Yeah,
they needed some offense. He gave them some, but man, Bobby Portis is still Bobby Portis.
So say it. If your big help was Portis, who should be the fourth guy in line to offer the help.
Yeah.
It just seems so imminent, and I can just see the writing on the wall that Giannis is not long for Milwaukee unless something absolutely ridiculous happens in the offseason, like Kevin Durant is playing next to him kind of stuff, or he is going to beg his way out.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, at some point, they brought in Dame Lillard.
I agree. You can only do so much. And it was a valiant attempt. It was. But it didn't work. And if you're going to keep him, you're going to have to do something else or he will get out. He'll leave.
Yeah.
I would expect it, and I wouldn't be mad at him.
Yeah. It's the Bucks, I give them credit for trying to build around him, but he's a hard guy to put the right pieces around. I do believe that. This isn't like your typical NBA star that it's real easy to say, okay, this is what he does well, so here's the kind of guys we need. It's like, Giannis is great, but it really is hard to complement his skill set.
And that's the fault of a continued line of coaches, because there's not been a defined path for what Giannis is going to be as a superstar as he functions in a team. And when you have coach after coach after coach, they start with Giannis because that's where the success will be. And then when things get tough and there's no help around him, well, because I wanted to win early so I could keep my job.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the problem until they get some kind of coach that's going to be there for 4 years with a working plan and a GM on the same page and getting guys that maybe Giannis isn't necessarily down with, but he finds out it's necessary for his success kind of stuff. And it's too late for that. It's too late for Milwaukee to do that.
All right, we'll be back. Wrap up hour number 1. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's here, Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. Take an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. Explore an expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. But hurry, this limited-time sale ends April 27th, and we're even open this Sunday. Don't miss out. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for details.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist, with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
But it's only me and I walk alone. Oh. The Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Yeah. That's the Milwaukee Bucks right now.
And I walk alone.
What's the other one that was played at the end of Seinfeld?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Anyway.
Poor Billy Joe. His shadow's the only one that walks beside him.
It's like a 35-year-old teenager.
I think
he's got to be like 50 by now. I think he's a 50-year-old teenager.
53.
I think he's well into his 50s, yeah.
He looks much younger. It's worked. His rock and roll lifestyle has worked quite well for him.
Because, like, they were already a thing when I was in, like, junior high.
Oh,
and I'm
shut up.
So...
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so
we're in our 30s already.
I'm guessing he's well into his 50s.
Yeah. I guess we'll listen to him on classic rock.
Yeah, that's right, Bubba. That is right.
He's on Jack. I know that.
Oh man. Yeah. So as we were talking about the NBA playoffs, the games tonight are of less consequence, probably. At least the Magic game doesn't feel. I don't know. I was reading this that the Magic or the Celtics probably not going to have Jason Tatum tonight. There's people in the Celtics organization complaining about how the Magic are playing, like maybe being overly physical and like trying to
They're being mean to the Celtics.
That's what they're trying to make it
Being
sound
mean
like
to them.
I mean, listen,
not mad
I'm not
at
going
them.
to feel bad for the Celtics. Like, yeah, they're better than you, so what do? You kick their ass. But, yeah, Horford irked by Magic's physicality. He said, well, first of all, Tatum, they said that he's probably not going to play because he got fouled pretty hard in game one.
He did take one. I'll give him that. And it was a little off, but settle down.
And he said,
you're world champs.
Horford said, yeah, there was something extra. There was a lot. It was the second or third time that KCP went at him in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so now my guess is he said, I'm not sure what goes into plays like that. Only thing I would say is that it's the playoffs, so the game's going to be more physical. It's going to be more intense. I feel like those plays are probably going to happen more often than not. And I think that's his way of saying we're gonna be bumping you back tonight.
Okay,
I hope so.
I would expect.
I kind of like to see
that.
Listen, man, when you're the Celtics, and let's face it, the Celtics are kind of perceived as a finesse team.
Perceived?
Yeah, I mean, like
I think they would freely admit.
Yeah,
we're a finesse team.
They didn't used to be that, did they?
Since this success began, yes, they've only been finesse.
It felt like when they had Time Lord.
He's still a finesse dude. I mean, they were a run and jump. I mean, they were an athletic team. I wouldn't call them soft, but I think, and maybe finesse isn't the right term. I would say precision over brute strength.
Okay.
I don't think they're soft. I just think that they play the drive and kick game that lends itself to not picking up a bunch of fouls. You're not going to get a lot of fouls when you're taking threes the way that they do. So they spend a lot of time with a free throw deficit. And it's not because they're soft. It's just their style doesn't lend itself to picking up a lot of fouls because they take a lot of open threes.
My guess is even if Tatum doesn't play tonight, it's hard for me to picture the Magic beating them.
Well, if they're gonna, it's gonna be tonight. I'll say that. If they're gonna beat them, it's gonna be tonight.
Okay.
Without Tatum at home for their first playoff game.
No. This is still in Boston.
Dude,
it's only game 2.
They ain't winning.
Yeah, it's only game 2.
I thought we had already at 2-0.
No.
I was already penciling this thing over. I just don't see how Orlando can maintain that. I think Boston, whenever you have your coach, even of the young stature, he is a world champion, and that will probably bring you 3 or 4 more foul calls tonight, just because they're probably right.
Do you give the Heat any chance against Cleveland tonight?
None
whatsoever.
Nil. It is so evident that the size of Cleveland, there is just nothing Adebayo can do.
Well,
Nothing.
and also, you can't. The Heat are stuck in that they can't take Tyler Hero off the floor
and they
for
can't,
offensive
and he doesn't
reasons.
defend at all.
I mean, if they could call timeout and switch offense for defense every time, they would. But they really are in a weird spot with that.
Yeah, and they're not going to get their ass kicked. They're just going to lose 4 straight. You know what I mean? They're going to play Miami Heat basketball. It's not going to be easy, but they're just overwhelmed right now.
Well, we'll get more into those games later on in the show. We'll take a look at some NFL draft stuff on the other side, as we are currently 36 minutes, 6 minutes, and 22 seconds away from the NFL draft. We'll also give away some Gunslingers tickets in the next hour, and later on in the show, we'll give away another 94-1 Fiesta medal. We got those are big, very popular item. Very popular item. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
John, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The prices on used cars have suddenly come up because the cost has gone up. And at GiveMeTheVin.com, we're paying more. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com, put in your license plate, and see for yourself. We're paying more today than we were yesterday. Remember, the tariffs have raised the car prices, and we are paying extra. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. Sell us your car.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-750-2525. That's 800-750-2525. Again, that's 800-750-2525.
Wilco, live in concert. Sweet and Sour Spring 2025. VSB May 6th. With special guest, Waxahachie. Wilco. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit wilcoworld.net.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-931-3030. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-931-3030.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. This rain has caused havoc all over. We've got closures on 35 northbound Evans to FM 1518. That's a 75-minute delay. Closed major accident. Traffic stop from Weidner. Looks like they're still diverting traffic onto the frontage road. Another closure on 151 eastbound Callahan to Old Highway 90. This crash involving an overturned 18-wheeler. 35 southbound, that off-ramp to New Laredo Highway. Off-ramp blocked as well. 281 southbound 410, 2 left lanes blocked with a wreck, and I-10 eastbound Wurzbach, 2 right lanes blocked with an accident. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The NBA playoffs continued last night as the Milwaukee Bucks fell again to the Indiana Pacers, 123-115. The Freak had 34. All 5 Pacers starters were in double figures. Oklahoma City continued to be dominant as they took down the Grizzlies 118-99. The series moves to Memphis. The Lakers clamped down on the Minnesota T-Wolves, took them back to 1995. Final score 94-85. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
7:02 on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 7:02 means 35 hours, 58 minutes, and 35 seconds from the NFL draft. I mean, it's essentially upon us now.
I hope Green Bay's ready.
Oh, it's going to be...
They have a giant clock ticking downtown.
I don't even know if Green Bay has access to
Do they
clocks.
have time there?
I don't know if they've got running water even. But they do have cheese. That's true. Do you need water to make cheese? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess. Oh, don't look like I'm an idiot, Rob. What am I, a pioneer? I don't know how to make cheese. What are you? Yeah. What? You born Little House on the Prairie?
You're not a cheese maker?
No.
It's all cheese making now.
Yeah, you idiot. Of course you need water to make cheese.
Come on.
And what are you going to tell me next? You don't know how to churn your own butter?
Yeah, if you're not churning your butter every day, you're just not living right.
Rob out there living in a Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, yeah.
Acted like we should know how to make cheese.
Yeah, he's got chickens and everything.
I know, man. God, get out of here.
City folk.
Yeah, of course, cheese.
City folk lagging
Stupid
behind.
Dummy.
Got to get farm strong.
All right, so here's the deal. The Titans have fielded all the trade offers. Mike Borgonzi. Hey, they call Borgonzi. They say, hey, Mike Borgonzi, you want to make a deal? I got a deal for you. Borgonzi said, what do you got for me? And he said, I don't like that deal. I don't like that deal. Borgonzi.
Not all Italians speak like that. Most of them do.
The ones named Borgonzi do. You ever met a Borgonzi who didn't speak
in Nashville? You got to throw a southern twang into the it would be a difficult accent to master.
Hey, y'all want to go get a pie?
Y'all want some grits on your pie?
Hey, we had a chicken fried pizza over here.
Part of the southern mobsters.
Oh. But after fielding all the phone calls and the offers, teams looking to trade up, and they gave them all their fair consideration, including the New York Giants apparently had interest in trading up from 3. Joe Shane and Borgonzi were spotted in Palm Beach talking.
Oh, man. The bros. Man.
Yeah. Can you imagine? One of them's like, hey, man, like, what if, we gave you the 3rd pick and, like, I don't know, like an 8-ball of Coke.
And some half zips. I'll give you a half zip. I'll give you my 2 best half zips. 8-ball of Coke.
But it says the Titans have looked at everything and decided we are staying at number 1. We've come to a consensus. The entire organization, we've decided to stay with the pick. So everyone is on board, and there you have it.
Well, if you're going to do this, all right, Titans. If you've turned down all offers, now with 35 hours and 55 minutes and 20 seconds, I want, when we go to Tennessee Titans, you're on the clock. I want you right then.
Yeah.
If you have made up your mind, and don't make us wait 15 minutes to
I'm
find
with
some
you.
filler. You better step up and make that pick.
Yeah,
That's all I'm asking.
I want to see that too. Like, okay, draft started.
If you're that serious,
let's put the Browns on the clock.
If you're like, we know who it is, there's no debate. We are 100% in. All right, prove it to me by your action. Step up and make that pick 1 second after you got on the clock. Be ready.
Well, and now with that settled, so the Titans say, don't bother, we're staying. Who do you think the next in line to get calls is?
I think the next team.
The Cleveland Browns at number 2 and the Giants at 3 are fielding trade inquiries for their picks now. And the Browns and the Giants have been receiving these phone calls, and neither team is outwardly rejecting the idea of trading down in the draft. So the Giants, who look like maybe they wanted to trade up to number 1, now that that's off the board, they're like, well, might as well look at trading down. A lot of teams looking to trade up are maybe looking at Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. There's more, and man, this is wild. There's more and more scuttlebutt that teams could be looking to trade up to get Ashton Genty in the top 5.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. I mean, the NFL, like every professional league, is a follow the leader kind of league. And it's, hey, the Eagles ran clearance. They opened the door for a stud running back, and fans won't be mad if you overpay for a disposable position now. We all like it, and me of all people, I'm in. I'm one of those bandwagon types. I want a running back. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cowboys suddenly go, you know what, if we can jump up to 3 and they're taking calls.
Maybe. Although, I mean, imagine the Cowboys and the Giants doing a draft day trade.
Well,
I can't.
3 was a bad number.
Yeah.
I can see Cleveland. They've dealt before. I mean, they have with Amari. So.
Oh, my God. If the Cowboys traded up to number 2 and took a running back.
I would be both overjoyed and
but you
outraged.
would know it was
I would
wrong.
be overjoyed and outraged all at the same time.
You would be like,
it would be like if my kid brought home a stripper. I'd be overjoyed and angry all at the same time.
I think the fan in you would be excited, but like the logical human, you'd be like, oh my God, this is a disaster.
Well done, son, but my God.
Are you sure? Are you sure about this?
Thanks, Jerry, but my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I would feel about that. But this is, first of all 32 teams still have their first round pick. Not one first round pick has been moved, and this is the closest to the start of the draft without any trades involving first round picks in the common draft era. That goes back to 1967.
Why do you think that is?
I think because it's such a crappy quarterback class.
I think that plays a huge role.
That nobody's like, oh, I've got to be up in the mix for this thing. Like, you know.
But because there's so few, I'm surprised there wasn't more activity to go get it. to just assure my place.
Well,
and I know they're not very good. And I hope that general managers are now able to discern, even though it looks good, it ain't good for me. But that has never been the case. Normally we know it, they know it, everybody knows it, but we got to do it, and we're going to do it anyway.
It sounds like teams were trying to get up there and get Cam Ward, and then when that got shut down, they said, well,
is it because, I always try to find for the unintended consequence of rule changes when you do things. That's where the real growth comes from, is how did this really affect other than what we thought? And when I see zero movement, I go, okay, it's people, process, technology kind of thing. Why aren't we doing this? Well, one, it might be the people that just didn't worth making the move. Two, the process is set up so that to make a deal way too early is wrong, or could really spoil you. And you want to make a deal right at the time it needs to be made, so the ramifications can't ripple too far. And then it comes down to money. Is the free agency and the dollar value assigned to those third and fourth year guys so much that I can't risk a first round pick? I just have to have that guy for 5 years, no matter what, because no matter the position in 5 years, there's a guaranteed X amount of savings if he starts, because I'm not dealing with free agency.
Well, so for me, that's why I would never use a first-round pick on a running back, because I don't even know if I want any running back for 5 years.
No, you're right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Disposable position. And I get the follow, but because the grand scheme, there's been zero movement, whether it's a left tackle heavy or a defensive line heavy draft, no movement.
The only guys that I would like, I mean, obviously you like, if you can get a fifth year, you like having a fifth year. But the only guys that I'd really worry about it is quarterback,
left tackle,
pass rusher, and tackle. And
now wide receiver, you got to start to worry a little bit, because those guys are getting up there. Now, by the time I get the sense that we're reaching critical mass on wide receiver pay, I think it's about to hit that running back bubble pop. But that's another position you've got to really count on. And I wonder if the finances are set up so that the difference between that fourth and fifth year is maybe a $40 million signing bonus that I can push down the road. I can see why, no matter what, I just can't trade out of the first round. I just can't take that financial hit, no matter the position.
But, I mean, you can trade down without trading out of the first round.
I agree. I'm just trying to figure right now, no movement. And if we get into the first round and there's not, I think there's maybe a cause to get together to find out why there wasn't. Was this just a one-off? Do we even want movement? Because maybe the idea behind all this is the owners want to protect themselves from themselves, and they made it just so difficult to trade that it's just not worth the effort.
My theory is because there are no surefire, guaranteed good quarterbacks
so
in
you
this
just
draft.
think it's a one-off, it's a talent issue.
I do. I think if there were, like last year, there were so many quarterbacks that were looked at as high-level quarterbacks, you could pencil in kind of how many of these guys were going to go in the first round.
Well, we knew number one. There was no doubt.
You had a little bit of a better idea of how the first round might be molded. This year, would it shock you if only two quarterbacks went in round one?
It would shock me. I
don't think I'd be shocked.
Well, I think. Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't shock you, but
it also wouldn't shock me if four went in round one.
Yeah, I think I always err on idiocy.
It wouldn't shock me if
what would be the dumb
went.
thing?
Like if somebody traded in and got a fifth one, it wouldn't shock me. So I think because maybe all these teams are now kind of thinking they've got different ideas of how the first round might shake out, and they think we don't need to trade up. We can get a guy we really want where we're at because of the way that the draft is built this year.
I will, if we get through the first round, or the first day of the draft would be the best way to put this, and there's not, at least 3 or 4 trades, it'll make me think that there is a hindrance, a built-in hindrance to making deals, that we need to find out what that is, because for me, I like player movement. I like the idea of teams being able to fix themselves in the offseason and not having to deal with a 4-year wait. And if you can foster that kind of improvement, I think that's a good thing for the league. And if we get through this first round and there's not a lot of moves because there's so many vagaries, because we don't know on a couple of positions, it just seems to me there'd be even more movement than less. I don't know, so I'm getting out. I don't know, but I'm positive about this cat, so I'm going up. I just feels like if we don't see that, then we've got a financial hindrance in the background that we need to address. If, in fact, I'll say it again, the league might not want a lot of movement.
Or it just could be that nobody feels like there's guys worth
I hope you're
selling their future for.
No, you're right. I hope that this is just a one-off, just because for me as a fan, I like to know that as a Cowboy fan specifically, that there's always an avenue if I have an owner willing to go fix yourself like the Rams did. Man, we're going to flip this thing off season, and the money be damned, we're going to go do it. And they did. I'd like to know that that's still possible. And part of that is maneuvering through the draft and acquiring extras and doing that kind of financial planning. That if it doesn't happen, then stagnation starts, and we got the usual suspects showing up every playoff.
I think like last year, I think back when the Patriots had the 3rd pick in the draft last year, and I think the Patriots got to a point where they knew they needed a quarterback. And people were saying maybe the Patriots trade up and try to get Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels. And I think the Patriots decided, we'd be happy with any of these quarterbacks.
And that's a rare thing.
So we're just going to, whoever's here at 3, that's the one we'll take.
And
it happened to be Drake May. And if Drake May would have gone 2, they would have said, we'll welcome in Jaden Daniels. But I think this year, because there's not outside of number 1, it doesn't feel like anything's really set. A lot of teams are just saying we're gonna have to think more on the fly than usual.
Well, actually, I don't trust these guys to make right decisions with a clock on them. So I'm for this.
I also think a lot of teams this year, because it is a perceived weak draft, I think a lot of teams are saying, we're just going to take the best player available on our board. Whoever we have graded the highest, whatever position, we're just going to try and get a good player out of this draft that doesn't appear to be very strong.
I'd like to think that's the case.
I mean,
I'd like to think this is a calmer heads prevail. We're going to do the smart thing kind of draft. But
I would hope
when has that ever happened?
I would hope I'm not smarter than all these guys who have these master's degrees that are running NFL franchises, but.
AJ, I bring it up all the time. There's something happens to normal people once they step into a professional franchise's building. They lose perspective. I don't know what it is, but we're right. I'm telling you, AJ. We look at this draft, and both of us from the get-go go, yeah, there's something there, but it'll be really hard to make a huge mistake, and it'll be really hard to make a huge find. I just don't see a lot of diamonds here. I see a lot of stainless steel. I see a lot of things that'll last, but not a lot of stuff that's really going to sell another ticket. And with that, I think I would be more apt to make a move, because who knows? What have I got to lose? Because I don't see anything where I'm sitting today. And that's kind of what I want. But that takes someone with forethought and process and safety and making a mistake. Like, you know what? I dared greatly and failed, but I'll be back at it next year without being fired. And there's just not a lot of safety there.
Like last year, it just felt like it was so deep of a draft.
Yeah, there's another quarterback. There's another one coming.
Yeah, and even outside of, Brock Bowers went 13th in the draft, and Brock Bowers might already be the best tight end in football. Think about that. Think about I don't know where Brian Thomas Jr. went in the draft, but it was like the mid-20s. And Brian Thomas Jr. was a freak in college. That was he's going to be good. And he went in the 20s. This year, it's like, I don't know if it wouldn't. I've said Abdul Carter, I'm almost certain, is the best player in this draft.
I have no doubt in my mind.
I think he's going to be really, really good wherever he goes. Everybody else, if you said this guy's going to be great, okay, this guy's going to be a bust, I'm probably just as apt to believe you. So that's the.
Then why not dare greatly? That's what, and
that's a good point.
That's the kind of thing, the old saying, when there's blood on the street, buy the land around it, because the values only can go up. So when there's chaos, be chaotic.
Yeah, but does that mean
make a move? But don't dare greatly to fail. Dare to the point where if I can get down and add 3 instead of 1, I'll probably end up okay. I'll move, and somebody's looking for something. I just feel like you're just constrained by so many outside pressures that I myself as a fan don't get or aren't pressured by, because I would think that by today, the end of the day, as we start tomorrow, I would like to think there are 6 or 7 deals just waiting for the click, the kicker, the igniter. As soon as this happens, the deal's going to be made. And if it's this guy goes at 2, I'm making a deal with you. And I would like to think that's already in place.
Think about the last couple of years. There's been big-time moves at the top of the draft.
That's what I want.
Think about when, the Panthers went all in to get Bryce Young.
And the Texans doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think some of this, because it involved quarterbacks, it made perfect sense. And this year it won't. You know what I mean?
No, remember the Texans, they wanted C.J. Stroud.
And he fell to him.
But they also wanted Will Anderson, and they said, we're going to get that too.
But they had their quarterback. They could make that move.
But if you think that there's something worth mortgaging your future for, it makes sense to do it.
And there's not.
Then why be in a hurry to trade up?
I'm not in a hurry, but what I'm saying is, either when we start the draft tomorrow, if things go chalk.
You mean in 35 hours, 41 minutes, and 26 seconds?
I would like to think there's 3 or 4 teams that have deals in place if things happen. If this happens, boom, I'm calling you. If this guy goes where I think he's going to go, but he's going to have to go.
Yeah.
And I don't trust this cat to make the right move. So in this kind of vagary, I think the best GMs are the ones that are ready to make a deal.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to get, but I'm going to get more of it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if teams are willing to do it. I have my doubts. I just don't know that anybody's worth.
I do too.
I don't know that anybody's worth moving up for, and that's where I'm kind of at. I'm not mortgaging my future for anybody in this draft. I'm really not. All right, let's hit a break. We'll be right back. It is the Morning Huddle 94.1.
Kinetico water softeners have been part of San Antonio's life for as long as I can remember. I've always had a Kinetico in my home. Growing up, we did. So I've heard people complain about hard water and spots and things on their dishes. It's not something I've ever been familiar with because once I was able to buy my own home some 30 years ago, guess what? I got a Kinetico, still do. Several homes later. And, a lot of people talk water softeners, and you hear a lot of advertisements, but you never really think you have access to the very best. And Kinetico has always been the very best. They've got the awards to prove it, made in the United States. The design is unique in that you don't even plug these things in. They don't have a motherboard to break. They only work when you turn on your water. They save you on salt. It's just the kind of thing that I quite frankly don't think about until I talk to you about it. And if you've ever thought it's too expensive to get involved, it's not. Especially right now, if you'll call 656-PURE or go to KineticoSA.com, you're going to find that this is now the best time to go get your water softener. Trade out, because you'll call them today at 656-PURE. They'll come out and put a Kinetico in your home for 90 days. You see what I'm talking about with no commitment at all. And when you do decide to buy, you've got a lot of things going for you. There's money in your old water softener, up to $400. There's great financing with approved credit, 0 financing. And a little gift, a reverse water softener, a reverse osmosis water softener aspect to your sink. I have one. It eliminates water bottles. Ready water all the time. They have the great decor to match what you've got. This all goes for getting the very best. I don't know what you're waiting on. Call Kinetico today. Get the very best, and come on by and thank me later.
Here in Texas, we know that trust is earned and reputation matters. Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and that Texans can respect. A firm where no defendant is too big and no case is too small. Backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients, Thomas J. Henry remains the name you can depend on if you have been injured. Trust the firm that stands for you. Trust Thomas J. Henry. San Antonio, Texas.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884.
Take advantage of pre-tariff pricing during Truck Month at North Park Chevrolet. Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on new Silverado 1500s. A new Colorado Crew Cab posted at $29,999. $5,000 off MSRP on a new Equinox. 4.8% financing for 84 months on new Tahoes and Suburbans. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
It's playoff time in basketball, and to make games more exciting, make sure you download the Underdog app, one of the leading sports apps out there. And Underdog just became one of the best places to make picks during the playoffs with their extender promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one, whether your entry wins or loses. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. So download the Underdog app, sign up with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Everybody wants to see the white. It's famous, and again, should have its own Instagram page.
Your white belt. I
Yes.
don't know. I think Joe's toes is more famous than the white belt.
Joe's toes. Well, I mean, you know, every part of me is pretty damn famous at this point. I'm just saying. Wow.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
I used to play this on Guitar Hero.
I was going to say, AJ, this riff sounds very familiar to me. I played this 1,000 times. Cherry, 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 cherry. I was wailing right about here. And it starts picking up speed.
Yeah.
Come on, boys, come with me.
Come on, keep up, drummer.
Come on, drummer.
You're falling off. You're ruining our score.
Our score. I don't think I can hold on. I'm getting tired.
My fingers cramped.
Oh, thank God.
Chris says, what a crappy draft. I mean, I agree with you, AJ, but damn, not one player. I'm not saying there's not going to be good players out of this draft. I'm just saying I don't know that there's anyone worth mortgaging your future for.
Well, what we should say is there's not a quarterback to hang this draft on. There's not. There's not one. Now, there could be in 2 years when we look back, but right now, there are certainly there's a Hall of Famer in this draft. There always is. And there's a lot of failures in this draft. There's just not a lot of
it doesn't feel like there's a slam dunk.
There's no big left tackle. There's no stud running back. There's no surefire wide receiver. There's a bunch of good ones.
Tom Pelissero's got some reports coming out right now, and some of them good, some of them bad. A coach was talking about Cam Ward and said he embodies everything you want in a team leader and your quarterback. That was Mario Cristobal talking about it, so it was his coach.
And that's a hardcore coach, man.
I don't think he would say something that he didn't believe there. There was someone talking about Jalen Milroe. He has a lot of accuracy issues, but he's an absolute freak. He is the best running quarterback I've ever evaluated. He's like Cam Newton's power with Lamar's speed.
Oh, settle down. That's some puffery. Settle down. The greatest running back I've ever seen
greatest
that can
running
also throw.
Quarterback he's ever seen.
Settle down.
He's a mix of Cam and Lamar.
Get out of here. He's good. All right, brother. So, and I don't want to go any further, but when my sister had him,
now
he's good. He's good.
Now, an NFL assistant coach on Shedeur Sanders. The worst formal interview I've ever been in my life.
Now this I buy.
He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's just not that good.
Well, no, settle down. Settle down, brother. That's too much on the other side. That's the other way.
Like I said, you
protest too much. What do you mean he's not that good? I watched him. He ain't terrible. He is a viable NFL quarterback. Top 10? Probably not. First round? Probably not. But then again, a lot of quarterbacks weren't first round. So shut up. So that tells me you want him. That tells me you're trying to run people off of him.
Now, Clarence Hill,
let's see what
friend of the
Clarence
program,
says.
said he took that and said reporters don't have to share everything they are told, and many times don't. It's not right to do this 2 days before the draft based on the opinion of one coach. It does not paint a picture or tell a complete story of how the league views Sanders. It doesn't color it a certain way. The NFL promotes DEI, but racism from this coach abounds.
Well,
this is the thing that I don't like.
That didn't racism. That's puffery. That's very different.
You can dislike a quarterback and have it not be because of the color of his skin.
And this is the silly season. This is all fake. That's
the other thing.
Smoke and mirrors. Don't buy any of this.
I think the other thing to consider is who cares what Tom Pelissero is reporting? Who cares what Rob Thompson or A.J. Hoffman's opinion of a quarterback is? These guys are making multi-million-dollar decisions. They're not going to listen to some report from a random reporter or some
That's why I don't buy it.
Media guy. They don't care. They're doing what they believe is the best thing for them. And so to say, like, they're trying to tank his draft stock, it's like,
no,
that's not how it works.
Well, they're trying to. It's strategery. This is Game of Thrones stuff.
Now,
either get into it and enjoy it, and get out. Because once the draft is over, all this stock's done.
Because if I said Shedeur, I'm an assistant coach. I say Shedeur Sanders is the worst formal interview I've ever been a part of, and I'm in a position where I'm considering drafting Shedeur. It means I also had a formal interview with him, and if it wasn't the worst formal interview I've ever had, I don't care what he did with that guy. It worked for me. And it could be someone who you could be someone who had a really bad job interview once, and then the next day go down the street and have a really great one. Does the idea that you had a bad job interview yesterday preclude you?
There's also the fact that maybe Shedeur didn't want to play for you, brother. Maybe when you interviewed him, he was very afraid this guy might draft me, and I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So
this guy's
how are
trying
you
to make
on
me a
Monday and
Cleveland
Friday
Brown.
absenteeism? What's my first vacation day? You ask those questions early when you don't want to get hired. Like, nope, brother, ain't working here. Can I date your daughter? Your daughter married?
And Claymore says, who cares about Rob Thompson's obsession with Jackson Dart? I mean,
he's a handsome man. He's this year's Will Levis. Come on, man.
It is true. It's like, who cares what guys like us think at the end of the day? Like, obviously, we're planting our flag on the guys that we believe in. Right. And conversely, planting our flags on guys that we don't believe in. But the idea that a media person can tank the draft stock of a player is, quite frankly, absurd. Now, if I were to release a video of Shedeur Sanders wearing a gas mask getting high, maybe that would affect his draft stock.
Well, that's one thing.
But
that's
just
a very different thing.
But me saying I talked to a coach, he doesn't like Shedeur Sanders, who cares? Because there's going to be for every guy who doesn't like Shedeur, there's a guy who says, I really like Shedeur, or I really like Cam Ward, or I wasn't crazy about Cam. Like, there's going to be these, especially when there's anonymity attached to it. Who's buying into this and making decisions based on an anonymous quote? If you are, you don't deserve to be an NFL GM anyway.
This is, again, the silly season. And if I wanted to draft Shedeur, truly, and I didn't want to tip my hand, I would have said exactly what this guy said. I would have said, this guy, he was the worst interview. He looked entitled. I wouldn't draft him, and if I was you, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't even interview him. I don't think you have any need to do this. This guy's terrible.
And if this coach believes it himself, so be it. But it's not going to change where the guy's drafted. I don't believe that.
A couple years ago, Anthony Edwards, he was going to be the number 1 draft out of Georgia.
Yeah.
And right before the draft, literally right before the draft, I forget who it was, came out and said, I wouldn't draft Anthony Edwards because really all he wants to do is play football. Now, a couple years later, he's still kind of playing around with that joke of trying to play football at some point in his professional life. But whoever said that was obviously trying to get him kicked out of that number 1 pick, because that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. This guy had built his life to become the number 1 pick overall, and for somebody 2 days before the draft to come out and say, you know what, I heard from somebody very close to him, he might not even play basketball. He might not even show up for training camp, and he'll go play football and figure out a way to do that now. And that was the dumbest damn thing I'd ever heard. That's just silly. But somebody's trying to play some strategery. There was no truth to the fact that it was. He went on to do what he's doing. So whenever I hear this, unless it's a picture of a dude wearing a mask and smoking weed.
Or like Joe Mixon when the report comes out.
Stuff.
Yeah, he blasted a girl in the face. Okay, well, yeah.
Entirely different.
You're right. But just because someone's reporting an opinion doesn't mean it's going to impact the draft. And Ren, you just don't understand sports radio. Like, I know you think like, I care what I'm saying in that I'm putting my reputation on these things. Like, of course, I want my opinion to, like, that my job is to give opinions. I want my opinion to be right. I defend my opinions because that's what you do in this job. What my point is no NFL GM cares what I'm saying. Not one, and nor should they.
And the ones that do are sitting
if they
next
do,
to
they're
me.
a dope.
Well, if they care what I'm saying, they're sitting next to me in studio next year.
Like who? I mean,
because they're unemployed.
Yes. If any NFL GM is taking what I have to say and making decisions based on that, he should be fired.
Although they should. Not that we're not wrong, because I am right.
And in my world, my opinion matters. But to an NFL GM who's making a multi-million-dollar decision, the idea that a media person, that their opinion means anything is foolish.
Now and I agree with what we're saying, but I do believe that there's probably a grain of salt, a grain of truth in what was said. I don't believe that Shedeur interviews very well. I think that he is a very mature for his age. He's been doing this for a long time, and because of that, doesn't come across with youthful exuberance. He asks money questions. And I'm interviewing a kid who I want him to be excited. Money's not the issue. I'm ready to come and play for you. I'll give my heart, soul, and everything else to come play for you, Mr. General Manager. Shedeur, shoot, I got more money than you now. Tell me what you're going to do for me.
Or, on the converse side of that, there's kids who money is the most important thing to them, and they realize, like, the higher I get drafted, the more money it means for my family.
See, he's already got it.
And for him, it's like, yeah, what are you going to do? Offer me more? Like, wherever I get drafted, I'm going to make money.
And I'm good enough to know that I will play. And if he's got that kind of attitude, I can see him tanking an interview. Like I said, I can see him like, I ain't no way. You're from where? Jacksonville? I ain't going to no Jacksonville. And I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
I'm going to trash this interview. I don't want to go there, and I can take care of that. Personally, behind closed doors, I'll make sure they don't draft me because they're going to hate me.
But to push, you know what? I want to get into the idea of racism on this on the other side. We'll do that next. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Slick streets and flooding has caused a lot of accidents all over the city. Let's start on the northeast side, 35 northbound at Evans. 18-wheeler accident. All that gets by is the right lane. Very heavy stacked traffic all the way back to Thousand Oaks. This is a 90-minute delay. Just avoid it if you can. Lookout or shirts are good alternate routes, but it's still going to be slow. 35 southbound, the off-ramp to New Laredo Highway. The off-ramp blocked with an 18-wheeler accident. 151 eastbound, Callahan to Old Highway 90. That's closed with an overturned 18-wheeler. That's a 30-minute delay. Back up to Military. 410 northbound Rigsby, wreck left lane, and a crash on 281 northbound Hildebrand, left lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Join us for San Antonio's premier fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by H-E-B, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta!
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. UMGC keeps your educational goals attainable with no-cost digital materials replacing textbooks in most courses, reduced tuition rates for eligible service members and their families, and scholarships for those who qualify. Get started here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyerforus.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, That is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
When you partner with CDW, your people get more out of technology. CDW data experts are simplifying complex workloads with high-speed AMD processors, which helps your project managers efficiently manage heavier workflows. Game designers level up creativity, and scientists develop their next breakthrough. Amazing, right? Make amazing happen. AMD and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/AMD.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is Wednesday. We're going to talk a little Brahmas football. Peyton Pardee, the interim head coach, will join us.
Pardee time after they got their first win, getting ready for their home opener, plus the latest draft rumors as we get closer and closer to Thursday's first round.
And we're in full swing of the NBA playoffs. All that talk as well.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Shake the haters off, Vic.
Yeah. The Cowboys theme song.
Truth. Let's do this. Let's give away a pair of tickets to the Gunslingers and the Las Vegas Nighthawks. That is Saturday, April 26th at the Freeman Coliseum. Let's do caller number 3. You'll win a pair of tickets to go see that game. Should be a great one.
It's always fun.
Good time out there at
You're
the
right on the
Gunslingers
action.
match. Oh, yeah. It's not a bad seat in that joint. All right. We were talking about Shedeur Sanders and how they're saying one person's opinion is like Clarence Hill even saying it's not fair to share and it reeks of racism. My problem with that is this. There have been plenty of reports on other quarterbacks coming off as entitled or not draftable or like hell, John Football was one of those. There were a lot of people who wouldn't touch Johnny Manziel with a 20-foot pole. Like they were. I remember hearing reports when Johnny Football was coming out that said, "I wouldn't draft him in the 7th round because I don't want him in my clubhouse."
They were right. They were true. Everything that was said, those were true statements.
And no one said, well, they're only saying that because he's white.
Well, I mean, there's a little different. Johnny had some issues. I mean, there's never been anything negative about Shedeur. I mean, he's all about business. I mean, he really is. I mean, this guy has been a professional athlete since he was 14.
But the entitlement stuff?
Well, see, entitlement can be one thing. Arrogance is another, but if you are in fact entitled to that kind of treatment, and arrogance is what I want in my quarterback, that is again in the eye of the beholder. And there's examples, Johnny's one thing, but Johnny had, he's drinking, he was partying, and there were lots and lots of rumors about stuff that he did. Shedeur's never had that. Now, his brother has. Now, I would put this more in the Aaron Rodgers situation. If we want to really because when Aaron was drafted, it was that. Interviewed bad, didn't open the car door for his mom, little things that he fell all the way down. And it was in the eye of the beholder because Aaron, to this day, is a prickly cat. He doesn't interview well. I imagine.
He's also a Hall of Famer.
Exactly. So, I mean, yes, he might fall because he didn't interview well. But that had nothing to do with race. That's just, I didn't like the dude, man. I don't want to work with him. And you know what? He probably didn't want to work with you either. And he acted like that. So,
I just don't think it's fair to assume that every negative report that comes out about a black player is racism.
I love Clarence. I do. And, we all have our stock in trade, and some of us fall to some preconceived conclusions quicker to other places than others. And he does fall there more often than not. And I get the sense that you do need to chime out on the periphery. You do need to make things you need to bring things to public discourse. And there are times when Clarence has been right. This is not one of them.
Yeah, listen,
this is not one of them.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend racism doesn't exist
and
or
this
isn't
is not
real.
one of them because there's so many instances of white, Mexican, whatever, being hammered because they didn't interview well. And you know what? Shador didn't have his Wonderlic test leaked.
No.
Where, this guy's a functional idiot. We didn't do that.
No, well, we've done that before with
That's what I'm
black
saying.
and white players.
So we didn't go, man, they just racist against the white dude coming from App State. No, he couldn't read when he got there, and he couldn't read when he left.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like that's always the fallback is they would only say that because he's a black man. It's just not true because there's been plenty of reports. And also, I don't know. Am I blind to the fact that there was a time where there were teams who were not willing to like take a chance on having a black quarterback?
Oh, there were many times.
Of course there were times like that. I don't think there's a team in the NFL now that like says, "Oh, I would rather have a white quarterback than a black quarterback." They want a quarterback who's going to win.
The least racist place is a coach's office.
I think so, man.
Man, I just got to win, brother.
Give me anybody who can help me win football games.
Yes.
And I mean, we're at a point where I don't know what the percentage of minority quarterbacks in the league are. I'm guessing it might be over 50% at this point. But I think it feels like we're past the point of.
I don't think we're past it. I just think there are appropriate times when it needs to be brought up. And what happens is when situations like this occur, it's the sky is falling. Where we go, no, it's not. This is not racism. But every time you blow it up, when it's not, it makes it less easy to see it when it is real.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean? I mean, there are times I do believe that we need to call what's going on what it is. And this is not that situation. I think this is just puffery. And a lot of it is the arrogant, rich black man. I mean, he is an arrogant, young, wealthy black man who has got the world as an oyster and is phenomenal at what he wants to do and has been trained to do so and understands his value. He knows what he's worth. And if you ask him, he'll tell you.
Just looking at a quick glance of the league, there are more minority quarterbacks as starters in the league than there are white quarterbacks. No one is looking at it now like, I don't want this guy because he's black. It's a crazy thought at this point, in my opinion. And again, that's me as the entitled white man.
And I will agree to disagree here. I'm sure Clarence has many a fine point, but here I just wholeheartedly disagree with this. Wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I do think that it doesn't shock me at all that there's a report that Shador doesn't interview well. It doesn't shock me at all that there's people saying he's entitled. And all the stuff about holding the ball too long and not playing on time, those are the real knocks against him now.
And he did jump on. We watched him in the Alamo Bowl jump on his teammates.
On Travis Hunter.
And
like
bitch and cry.
Yeah.
So those were all true. That's not racism. That's film.
But to say that, I don't think anyone's saying it because he's black. I think that they're saying it because
I'll be honest. White, black aside, Quinn Ewers had a little bit of Shador in him when he got to Texas. There's a little bit of, I know I'm great. Let me show you I'm great. And enough about me telling you I'm great. Why don't you tell me how great I am? Ewers had a lot of Shador when he arrived, and it got beat out of him.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think that he kind of realized that at one point. And he actually came out and said, like, I realized this isn't the Quinn Ewers show. This is Texas football. And that's when he shaved his mullet.
Yeah,
and
did all that.
He said, I'm here to be about work. And whether you like it or not, those are the things that teams look at and go, yeah. Now, is Quinn Ewers going to be drafted ahead of Shador?
No.
Of course not, because Shador is probably a better player.
Yes,
but they are going to look at it and go, man, I respect that part. Now, if the play on the field was equal and the skill set was equal, they would probably take the Quinn Ewers who had this humbling experience.
Yes, and keep in mind, these kids are the same age, and they're kids. No matter what, warped as it may be, have warped a life as they have lived, because they ain't lived a life like you and me, they're still kids.
Yeah.
And an 18-year-old interviewing Parley who happens to have $25 million in the bank, shocking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't imagine what dealing with that is like. But I do think that both things can be true. Shedeur can still be a good player.
He's more NFL ready than anybody in this draft.
And he can also be a guy that sucks to be around and isn't going to interview well and isn't going to be maybe the best teammate. Those things can be true. And there's a lot of successful quarterbacks whose own teammates didn't necessarily love being around them. Jay Cutler was famously like, if his receivers were blowing it, he'd just tell them to get away.
Well, nobody liked Kobe.
Exactly.
I mean, nobody liked Michael.
Yeah, it wasn't fun playing with those guys.
With that. I love to play with you, but once the whistle blows and the horn goes off and I don't want to be around that dude. I don't like him.
Yeah.
So I get it.
So, but it doesn't take away from what you're able to do, obviously. It's just a matter of how does that fit? How does it fit into your locker room? Those are decisions you got to make, and they involve personality should absolutely play a role, especially for a quarterback. You want to know what you're getting as a leader. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you think this guy's going to win you football games, it don't matter if you're black, white, purple, or an a-hole. Yeah. You're going to help them win football games.
Yeah, I would still hate it. I pulled up in my Honda, and he pulled up in his Miura.
Yeah.
Already wearing more drip than I made last year.
All right. Halfway there on a hump day. Hump hour, hump day. Morning Huddle 94.1.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you are a family member needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site X-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
It's here, Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. Take an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. Explore an expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. But hurry, this limited-time sale ends April 27th, and we're even open this Sunday. Don't miss out. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for details.
It's Macy's Friends and Family Sale. Hurry in for insider deals on must-have spring styles from your favorite brands, like an extra 30% off new dresses, handbags, and accessories from Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Donna Karan New York, Avec La Vie, and more. Plus, get 15% off fragrances, beauty, and skincare, too. It's not only the best time to shop for yourself, it's also the best time to shop early for Mother's Day. Don't miss Friends and Family, going on now at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Text
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text MANAGE to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text MANAGE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text MANAGE to 200-300. That's MANAGE to 200-300. MANAGE to 200-300.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
What's up, baseball fans? It's time to swing big on your bets this season. Step up to the plate with an odds boost token from BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. No opt-in is required. Just log into your BetMGM account to receive your odds boost token. Then place a bet on any MLB game and activate your token. If your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. No matter the showdown, BetMGM is your betting home for baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. This has been a heck of a morning rush hour. So busy due to all the rain. 281 southbound Jones Maltsberger. This wreck is off to the shoulder now. 25-minute delay, though, from Stone Oak Parkway. A new trouble spot 35 northbound Pat Booker Road. A stall right lane. 15-minute delay slow from 410. On 35 southbound Thousand Oaks, that stalls in the center lane. That is a 90-minute delay. A closure at 151 eastbound Callahan over to Old Highway 90, closed with an overturned 18-wheeler. And then an accident at 90 eastbound 1604. It's causing almost an hour delay. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The NBA playoffs continued last night as the Milwaukee Bucks fell again to the Indiana Pacers, 123-115. The Freak had 34. All 5 Pacers starters were in double figures. Oklahoma City continued to be dominant as they took down the Grizzlies 118-99. The series moves to Memphis. The Lakers clamped down on the Minnesota T-Wolves, took them back to 1995. Final score 94-85. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at FixMyLowTeam.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
8:02. Which means 34 hours, 58 minutes, and 34 seconds.
Barely standing
to the NFL draft.
Come on, Shannon. That'll cost you $50 million if you're not careful.
Right?
Might, yeah. And you dude, let's just to put a bow on that conversation. Remember last year, there were people who didn't like Caleb Williams, the way he interviewed.
Yes. It was a lot of the same stuff. It's all about me. I know I'm great.
Yeah, very entitled was the stuff that people were saying about Caleb Williams. Guess what?
He went number 1.
He was the first guy taken because at the end of the day, and now, of course, you're seeing there's still people saying he's entitled. But
what I'm afraid
if you got game, people look over that stuff.
And, you never know. There might be a bigot in an NFL front office. I don't know. I assume there's not. But what my
chances
fear
are good
is,
there are.
Chances
amongst
are.
white billionaires, there's probably one that doesn't really like black guys.
So even and if he does fall and he does, go to 20 or, fall to Pittsburgh late or somebody trades back and gets him late, then it'll feed the racism narrative, when in fact it's about skill. It's about fit. It's about a lot of things, not about the color of his skin. But when you hear that early and then, whether it's true or not, he does fall for whatever reason. Everybody says, I told you, I just don't want a black quarterback. Well, no, that's not it. Cam Ward went number 1.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about that. It was about something else. But when you start the fire early and it's smoldering and then something does come true, then you got to fight another fight when there wasn't anything.
Yeah, and you can't say it's only because he's black. No, that's not fair to say
reasons.
either.
Yeah,
because like I said, Pelissero reporting all the nice things that people were saying about Jalen Milroe and Cam Ward.
You mean the greatest running quarterback in the history of the NFL?
The guy who's a cross between Cam Newton's power and Lamar Jackson's speed.
So. That I cite example 1 for puffery, both positive and negative.
Yeah.
Like this, really, Jalen Milroe is that. Okay.
But again, if you're a person who says, okay, we need a quarterback, we're drafting here, I think we should go with Shedeur, and then someone in that war room goes, yeah, but did you guys read what this random anonymous NFL coach said? This anonymous NFL assistant said he was a really bad interview. And he's very cocky, and he doesn't think he's that good.
Oh, well, no.
Oh, well, damn. That's like saying, are you guys sure we should take him? Look what Mel Kiper said. I don't believe that I really don't believe that NFL GMs can even let that play into their decision. Let it even be a factor. They have to do the research for themselves. They have to go kick the tires on these guys. And if what they're going to see it with their own eyes, and if they think that Shedeur's entitlement or perceived attitude, or even the skills that he presents, if they don't think that is something they want to deal with, then they won't draft him. But they're not going to make a decision based on what some anonymous assistant coach said, and to think that they would is really just foolish. It really is. That's like thinking that. It's irresponsible of you guys to say this stuff because you've got a chance to cost him millions. No. Like what people say on the radio, what people say on television doesn't even it doesn't register to these people. It really doesn't. Now, maybe after when you start to get the and nobody likes for people to come up after they've done something and pick it apart. Look at Nico Harrison. Well, I'm sure he doesn't like all the media attention, but
is he black?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and that's the only reason he's getting any grief, not because the silly black man traded the white guy that everybody loved. So it's
reverse.
I know. So that's the only reason anybody's giving Nico any grief is because he's a black man. No, it's just it is silly to think that the media or much less an anonymous source. I mean, it could be the special teams coach. Like, who cares what that guy thinks of Shedeur Sanders? Who cares? Because your guys sat in a meeting with him. You ideally sat in a meeting with him. The guy who's writing the name down on the card. Hopefully you've done your own due diligence, and it doesn't matter what anyone thinks.
Well, I believe he wants to draft him. I just don't believe anybody said that with any kind of negative other than to benefit me. I hope I make somebody so afraid to draft him, I get him.
Think about this. It's like you're dating a girl, and a guy who has no chance to date that same girl comes up to you and says, dude, I hear she's a real bitch. Okay, I'll handle this. I'll take care of it. I'll figure it out for myself. And if she's a real bitch, I'll move on. But like, why would I take some stranger's opinion on it?
Well, the problem is it's not strangers, and everybody knows what's going on. Everybody who interviewed Shador has their. I mean, who are we talking to?
They've got their own opinions.
I don't understand who they're talking to other than me as and fan. That they're not talking to. There's no behind-the-scenes GM trying to save the other franchises. Like, I hope you guys don't make a terrible mistake. I'm trying to save you from yourself. That guy's awful. Don't draft him.
We got it. Bubba.
And if he was that bad, I wouldn't tell anybody either. I hope you draft him.
I mean, how different is it from us saying, hey, Travis Hunter, this gal's got some toxic traits. You might want to get out of that mess. You think Travis Hunter's going to listen to what dudes in San Antonio on the radio think about his relationship? No. He don't care. No. It's just we're in our own little bubble here. We're talking to ourselves. I promise you, Travis Hunter doesn't care. I promise you, no NFL GM cares what anonymous coach said.
Well,
and to say that it's irresponsible, I don't think it's irresponsible reporting. These guys, their job is to just report what they're told.
Well, an anonymous coach once said about me, he's a hard worker. He's a coach's kid. He shows up early and he gets there late. He really does everything asked of him.
An anonymous coach once said about you, you were the next Shaq.
Well, wouldn't you say that? When you hear somebody described as a coach's kid who's a hard worker, really a coach on the field or the court, really
means you don't have that much talent?
Yeah, he's a white guy. He's got 3-yard quickness. Never drops a ball.
Undersized white.
Undersized, tries hard. Coach, brains on the field.
Great free throw shooter, though.
Can shoot. Now, open your eyes, and he's white.
Can't believe it. Can't believe
Hard worker, though. Not very fast.
No. All right. Let's shift gears to the back to the NBA, where apparently the Lakers, this JJ Redick, apparently a lot of the Lakers were saying that he's the one who kind of lit the fire under him.
We talked about this. Yes,
he got in their ass. Apparently,
I think that he has been a really a revelation. No one expected this. I think we expected a pro coaching pros. I mean, this guy's been around the block, but he has buy-in. This isn't pros just playing pro basketball. This is pros playing some college level in your grill kind of defense, which that is not Laker basketball. At least it hadn't been in the last 10 years.
Like you mentioned, you started the game and you ended up not seeing the end of it when it got close. On TNT last night, they were up 62-51.
At what point in the game was
there
this?
was 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and JJ was throwing clipboard saying, "What the F are you guys doing? Come on!"
Nice. He went Serbian.
Yeah, and then they right out of that timeout, it's a 9-0 run. They get the lead back up to 20, and they end up getting the win. But he said, LeBron said, "That's JJ. Obviously, we need to listen to the message and not how he's delivering it." I thought we responded well to that.
He didn't really like the listen to the message and not how it's delivered.
I don't know.
LeBron didn't really like him stomping around and throwing stuff.
Well, he's just saying we need to. He shouldn't.
Well,
I think maybe he's saying he shouldn't have to get to that point
I think
before.
You're right. And think of the last time
because LeBron's been very supportive of JJ Redick.
And LeBron will also get you fired the moment he doesn't like you. I mean, he's got a history. But I think, when was the last time you saw a Laker coach really lose his mind on the sidelines? It's just very un-Laker-like.
Yeah, it kind of is.
So for LeBron to have somebody throwing stuff around, I appreciate that.
Yeah. And he said, we knew yesterday at practice. We had a tough practice. We went at it, and it was one of the best practices we've had all year. We kind of knew coming out of that what type of disposition we had to play with, and the Lakers came out and played like dogs.
Old pros, man. Old pros.
It does feel like the Lakers. I really don't. I don't know who's going to win this series because I still think there's a world where Anthony Edwards starts remembering that he's Anthony Edwards,
and they don't have it. If he gets hot, they don't have a stop without sacrificing one of their studs.
Right,
like LeBron would have to get out there on him.
And they've done a good job of containing him so far, but guys like that, eventually he's going to have a night where and it might be when he's at home, he has that night.
If it doesn't happen tomorrow night, it ain't going to happen.
But the fact that they've already got one in the bag, they got one in L.A., gives them a little bit of wiggle room. But yeah, I do expect at some point the real Anthony Edwards comes out and has that kind of a game, and then we'll see how the Lakers respond to that. But it does feel like there's a better energy with this Lakers team than I remember them having in a while. Mm-hmm. And I guess I certainly don't attribute that to Luka. I mean,
well, I think it helps.
I think Luka, the player, is obviously great.
That's it.
But I don't look at Luka as like a leadership guy, as he's certainly not a rah-rah guy.
Guy leading the charge.
Yeah, I really feel like this is J.J. Redick's personal stamp on this team.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that it also allows LeBron a little bit more leeway to know that I got a superstar on the other side of the court.
Sure.
That all I got to do is toss it around and play my whatever I need to do kind of game. So it's far from over, but I'll tell you what I did see looked like very repeatable. And that's what you look for in those kind of games. It looks like the defense they played can manifest, and I think it's a good strategy to if I let Randall go get 30 and nobody else gets anything, I'm going to win this game. I'm going to win it, and I'll win it easily.
I also think the key to the game was when Rui Hachimura got his face smashed, and he went back and put on a mask, and he was like,
"Oh, is he back in a mask now?"
Like Batman. Oh, anytime a player wears a mask, you know they're playing hard,
out.
man. You get guys in masks. That is a scary thing. A scary thing. You can't stop them.
Especially when they only speak Japanese.
Well, I think Rui Hachimura speaks English.
Does he? I'm not sure, bro. Does he?
I'm 100% certain.
Are you sure? I'm serious. He might have picked it up in the last year. When he got drafted, I saw him have to bring an interpreter with him.
Really?
Yes. He grew up in Japan.
Wow. I mean,
and when you see a brother speaking Japanese, it's off-putting.
It is
It doesn't feel right. It's like watching one of those weird Netflix movies that gets recommended to you.
It is a little odd. He said, I remember when he was in college, he didn't like to go up, like at Gonzaga, he didn't like to go up on the podium because he said that he understood almost all the English, but he was only really comfortable talking about half of it.
It makes sense.
And I would figure by now he's got it figured out.
You know, over the years, the Spurs have had a variety of international players and translators have to make the. There was a kid they had for 2 years. His name was Mink Batir. He was Mongolian.
Ooh.
And his interpreter dude was a trip, man. So the addition of these interpreters into the team, because they're with them all the time.
Yeah.
They're like on the plane sitting beside them. They're with them so they can have fun and communicate with their teammates. It's kind of a 15-man team turns into 17 because this little dude's around to make sure he can.
Well, I mean, how do you do it if you're a coach, like in the moment?
Well, there's the international basketball language.
Like on the whiteboard.
We all speak basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody knows what zone is, and everybody knows those cuts. So I'm in my experience, I have limited playing with international players. I really haven't spent a lot of time with them, but I do think we all speak hoop.
I was randomly thinking about that last night, watching the hockey game, which was disgusting. But like these Swedish dudes, who 19-year-old Swedish kids who are just in America for the first time, they probably don't speak a lick of English.
I think we all speak hockey, and just like you all speak baseball.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it just feels
first skin, whether it's Dominican or Cuban. I mean, we all know the signs.
But when you're yelling things out, it's like,
I don't know.
Like you got to have a translator right there to talk to these guys.
Early on when Victor first came, I was so happy that the fact that he was already really fluent in English, because the worst case, and when Tony got here, his English was not ideal.
Right.
He had some work to do. I mean, he spoke enough, but
think about like Shohei Ohtani.
Exactly.
When he's pitching and you, as the catcher, you go out to talk to him at the mound, and the catcher's probably from some Latin country or
from the Bronx.
We all speak baseball.
Probably Dominican or Puerto Rican. And he goes out there to talk to Shohei Ohtani. Like, how do they communicate? I don't know. What do you say to him? And then what's Shohei say? Like, I don't understand it totally, but I guess they all, once you got a relationship with someone,
I said, we all speak baseball. I mean, the rules haven't changed.
Throw a strike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The pipe, man.
It was God. When I would go out, when I had to coach my crumb bum team, Like the kids who I knew were never going to amount to anything, but they basically paid.
Mr. Buttermaker?
They paid for the other kids to play.
The Bears.
Every other weekend, I had like a really, really high level team, and then the next weekend I had
like nothing. Just
it was like the Bad News Bears.
Well,
and
kids having fun.
No, because their parents all had envisioned. Like these are parents. The parents who are paying $250 a month for their 12-year-old to play ball. They all think my kid's going to play in high school and then maybe even get to college ball. Yeah. And like for me to try to and the guy who ran our organization would say, it's not your job to tell the parents the truth about their kid. It's your job to go out there and coach them to the best of your ability. You don't need to tell them this kid's got no hope of playing high school ball, and much less college ball. But it also the way you can talk to the kids who actually are good. Like I could go out and talk to a pitcher and say, hey, you're falling off the mound this way. This is what's going on. Yeah. With those kids, I would just be like, hey, man, can you throw strikes or not today? Like maybe that's what the catcher does with Otani. It's like, hey, let's just try and throw it over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, down middle.
Do what you got to do to just, let him hit the ball. Like don't walk 5 kids in a row.
How many times do you think the catchers had to go talk to Shohei in the grand scheme of things?
Or they
probably not that
I'd
often.
probably put it away just because, one, I don't think he'd understand me, and two, I trust that he's probably going to be
But there's
pretty on.
probably 15 Japanese pitchers in Major League Baseball that all have none of them are as good as Shohei, but it's
Right.
I'm sure that it happens pretty regularly.
Right.
All I can picture is, what was it, Crash Kelly, the movie where they're on the mound and they're discussing wedding gifts and I think for a wedding.
Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
Yeah.
I think a lovely candle set is always and Garcia over here is having trouble with his girl. So I can just see that in 3 different languages.
Yeah.
But when I think of mound visits, I always think when Roger Dorn went out to talk to Rick Vaughn after Rick Vaughn banged his wife.
Yeah.
And
that's the best movie, man.
just strike this mother effer out.
Yeah.
And then when they're celebrating in the post game, then he punches it.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great movie! The greatest of all baseball movies. Let's face it.
It is.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, I'm going to give away a Fiesta medal. I've been doing them in the 9 o'clock hour. I'm going to give one away in the 8 o'clock hour because not everybody can listen in the 9 o'clock hour. So we'll do that next. I got to tell you about Carbach. Carbach Brewing, born in Houston, but man, they are all over San Antonio now. And that's by design. The first time they decided to venture outside of Houston, they said, we're going to make San Antonio our priority market. And it shows, man. Of course, you're going to be able to get Carbach in liquor stores and grocery stores all around town. But bars, restaurants, almost all the bars and restaurants in San Antonio have some form of Carbach, either in cans or on draft. And whether you're a Hopadillo is your thing, that's the IPA, super in-your-face, hop-driven IPA. You want something a little lighter, more crushable, that's the Love Street or the Love Street Light if you're trying to watch your figure. Either way, Love Street's their best seller. That's their Cole-style blonde ale. Maybe you're like me, the Crawford Bock, which I think is just super versatile, great everyday drinker. There's something for everybody in Carbach's lineup. So even check out the stuff for seasonals. Like right now, the Hopadillo Imperial, double IPA, so double the fun. But there's something for everybody, man. Go check it out. If you haven't tried it already, upgrade your beer drinking game. So next time you're out and about, ask the bartender to please make it a Carbach.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
When it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years and successfully represented thousands of injured Texans. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Warning, the national debt is spiraling out of control. Trade wars are causing record volatility, and inflation could make a devastating comeback. Will you sit on the sidelines and wait, or will you take action today to help protect your hard-earned retirement savings? And what if you could do it tax and penalty-free? Find out more by requesting your free 2025 gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match on bonus silver if you qualify. Call 855-969-GOLD to learn more. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today. There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is Wednesday. We're going to talk a little Brahmas football. Peyton Pardee, the interim head coach, will join us.
Pardee time after they got their first win, getting ready for their home opener, plus the latest draft rumors as we get closer and closer to Thursday's first round.
And we're in full swing of the NBA playoffs. All that talk as well.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
And look down on. Try your best. Try everything you can. Don't you worry if it's ill themselves. You're away.
You're like my wife. You know the lyrics to everything.
It just takes some time. Little
Really
girl, you're in
annoying.
the middle of the
I would
ride.
hate to ride in the car with you, man. I'd just be hitting the button. Even if I like the song,
Everything will
boom.
be all right.
We'd be listening to nothing but smooth jazz after a while.
He'll know the words to that, too.
No,
Smooth-
it'd be
he'd be
music
humming.
with no words.
Yeah, just smooth jazz. Just
Buying.
or NPR.
Live right now.
Then he just repeat the news to you.
Just be yourself. Don't you wonder if it's good enough.
He's
for
the guy that
someone
sings with
else.
earbuds in. Just sings the song.
Just take some
sitting in the
time,
bus.
little girl. You're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be. Oh, it's fine. Everything will be all right. All right. Enough. Enough of me.
That's not an endearing quality.
Enough of me serenading the audience.
That's what you call it?
You're so jealous, Rob.
That's it. Jealous.
Grow up.
I'm
Just because I have a special talent.
Yeah. I can just imagine you
Well,
in the
my
back
mom
seat.
says that
That's
I'm a really good
You're in the
singer.
back seat singing. Oh, you're so good.
My mom thinks I'm a good singer. Like, my wife doesn't really, but I think she does, but she doesn't like to get my head too big.
Does she roll her eyes when you do it? Oh, here we go.
No, she doesn't give me too much grief.
All right, you're good.
Not too much, but I know she doesn't like it. But I mean, my wife does. She doesn't like anything.
Well,
She
see,
gives
if
you
you're
that side eye,
if you're
like-
driving,
My wife doesn't like anything about me.
if you're in the car and
She
you're
just
driving,
pretends,
you're
just like
allowed to
sex.
sing.
She pretends.
If you're driving, you're allowed to sing, I think. If you're a passenger, you don't get to sing.
What if the driver's also singing?
Well, that's fine, but I get to choose
And
the
you were
music.
meant to be in
And
the
if
car
you're
together.
singing and I don't like your singing, I'm hitting a button. But if you're a passenger, you ain't hitting a button. I'm driving.
So
I'm singing.
Well, I feel that rule should only apply when I'm driving.
Or when I'm driving.
Yeah.
But anybody who's driving gets the right to sing and listen to the music they want. They are in control. They're the captain. If you're sitting next to me and you start singing, I don't like it, I'm hitting a button.
Okay,
But if I'm
that's
driving
acceptable.
and I'm singing and you don't like it, guess what?
That's a throwback.
You got to own it. You got to sit there and listen.
That's the old school rules. Yeah, I get that. I'll accept that.
And if you're in the back seat, just shut up altogether.
Yeah,
we
that's
can't
true.
hear you. Anyway.
Yeah.
We can't hear you anyway. So
You
just
don't
sit back.
count.
You don't count. There's a reason you're in the back.
Exactly.
The worst is when like my kids will put like headphones or earbuds in, and it's so loud you can hear it
Yes.
anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, dude, that ain't gonna work for me.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work. Kill that. But you know, what
I'm normally singing anyway, so they can't hear.
That's what they
need the
and
buds.
that's why they need those earbuds.
Sit in the back and shut up.
All right. Excuse me. Had a little.
Uh-oh.
Got verklempt?
No, my
Vapor lock?
my Trenta, my gigantic coffee drink that I had. It was it was giving me some.
What's it called?
Trenta is the 30-ouncer.
I didn't even know there was a Trenta.
Yeah, you got.
Oh, 30.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did
So
you know
can
there
get
was a Trenta?
The Venti, which is 20.
So I thought that was the biggest.
No, they go
No.
bigger if you ask. Now on the
Vein-
menu, it doesn't.
Veinte.
It doesn't always say.
I hate secret menu items.
It's not really a secret menu item. It's just like, hey, I want more.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know I could have. I thought Venti was the biggest.
No, you can ask for the.
There's now 11. There's one larger.
There's one larger. Unfortunately, they don't do 40
Why don't
ounces
they make
of
the
coffee
biggest
yet.
Venti?
Ah.
Why didn't they just make
A
that
40?
cup a Venti?
Well, I don't know because the Venti means 20,
Yeah.
Okay.
so it's 20 ounces.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so then they went to Trenta for 30 ounces?
Yes.
Then they need 40.
That,
Or 40.
then you can be. Edward,
Why don't we just go?
Edward 40 hands?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever do that where they tape the 40 to your hands? Like, did you guys ever have parties like that in school or high school where they taped a 40 to your hands and you had to you couldn't do anything until you drank your 40?
Nah, never. Didn't have that.
Oh man!
Man,
you
what
guys
kind of
never
parties did you
Edward
go
40
to?
Hands?
That sounds like something I did to the pledges in my fraternity.
No,
I
we had
like
wine
this.
coolers.
No, we had
You didn't have Zima hands?
we had two Mickey's Fine Malt liquors, and you duct tape it to your hands.
And you can't.
You can't do anything until one of the 40s is gone. Then you can take that 40 off, and then you can finish your other one. But
Oh, man, that would be
I'm worried
horrible.
about how much.
That 40s taste awful. Blech.
Yeah, that last 10. That last 10 of the 40 is not good.
yeah, we
That's
do-
the part you pour
I'll
out
do
for
it
the
with
homie.
Bartles and James.
you always
but
walk
not
around
the-
Edward 40 hands.
No. We didn't do that here.
Man, y'all weren't dogs.
No.
I can honestly say I've never had a 40 taped to my hand.
That's why I grew up hard, man. That's why I'm built different than y'all.
That's how you made it through the army.
You are. I will give you all of that.
I was going to say, yeah, that's probably an army thing.
I did
What
it
was
before
it,
I was
like
in the
Old
Army.
English? What was
no,
it?
Mickey's Fine Malt
Mickey's,
Liquor.
all right.
And
Mickey's?
Yeah, Mickey's
Better
Fine
than
Malt
Old
Liquor. Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor on base. At the at the little like the
PX or whatever.
Yeah, but even like the mini PX, like the gas station.
Oh,
PX,
yeah.
You could get the Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor in 1999 for a 40 ounce. The wide mouth bottle was $1.50. Now I wasn't old enough to buy,
right?
But my roommate would go down, and of course there's no tax on base either. So for $3, I could be Edward 40 hands. Now I didn't tape them to myself then, but if you drink 2 40 ounces of malt liquor,
you're about to commit a gang crime.
Yeah, you're
at
gonna
19 years old. Now imagine I weighed like 170 pounds at this point, and I'd crush a couple 40 ounces, and then I'd have to I'd be 19-year-old me would be litty.
Wasn't drinking age on base 18?
No. What you served in like the 1940s? That wasn't how it was.
Well, they had I remember they had a beer vending machine.
No, that's
in the rec area, and you can get a beer if you wanted.
That was back when you were in WW2.
Yeah.
But back in the Korean War days, Vic. I'm younger than you.
Oh, okay.
So was it 21 for you?
Yeah, 21.
Or was it just the state drinking?
Yeah, whatever the normal drinking age was.
Oh, okay.
But the worst thing is, I'd drink 240s and then have to get up and go run sometimes 7-8 miles.
You sweated it all out.
No, usually I would vomit it out at some point. Like I'd fall out of formation, vomit, and then get back into formation and run some more. And that was just
I can't do that.
It happened all the time. Like it was not just me. There's a lot of guys that would happen to.
In the Air Force, we would actually have cocktail breaks. We would actually stop our run and have an Aperol spritz. And just, discuss.
A drink cart rolls up.
The drink cart would roll by, and we'd sit and discuss.
And two
the day's
butlers
events.
would be like,
a cart girl pulls up on their run.
Really, it wasn't a hike. It was more of a stroll.
And it was like at the halfway point, which was about a half a mile.
We stopped and had finger sandwiches. And
we'd.
Meanwhile, AJ's throwing up in the dirt with Mickey's and making him run an extra 5 miles and doing more push-ups.
There were days I wouldn't even get a sandwich.
Oh,
there were days on our stroll that we would stop and I'd get my Aperol, but I wouldn't get a sandwich. It was hard.
Must have been terrible.
I'll tell you what, man.
Must have been terrible. What's crazy is I think about the calories that I was able to take in back then.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I mean, and I can do that now, but I would just be a giant fat person.
Did you gain weight?
I gained weight when I was in the Army. I was the only person who gained weight at basic training.
Yeah, no, I lost tons of weight at basic.
But when I was when I was at my unit, after we'd run. We would always run a minimum of 2 miles every day, and then some days we'd run 9-10 miles. It just depended on the day, like what they had planned for us.
Ours, if there was a heat warning, we didn't.
You didn't run when it was hot?
No, that's for animals.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, I was in California and it was a heat warning, and they were like, "No, can't run." So we're going to the pool today.
Yeah.
What?
We would.
Or one day it was too hot. They just said, let's do the gas chamber. Let's get it over with.
We just
what the hell?
We'd have video game day.
It's too hot to run.
Yes.
Remember when you're out there in the field shooting at people? I'm in an air-conditioned ship.
Yeah.
And
Man.
Rob is in an air-conditioned building somewhere.
Y'all chose better than me. Y'all chose better than me. We didn't have. But when I would get done running, I would go to the mini PX, and I would get a box of Pop-Tarts, the brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts, and a half gallon of milk. And that was my breakfast. I would eat 8 Pop-Tarts and drink a half gallon of milk.
8 Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds just. I mean, you would die.
Yeah, I would die. Yeah.
But it was like, I needed. That's what was taken to fuel my body back then. Now.
And you weren't even 21 yet.
No. Now, if I ate 8 Pop-Tarts, I'd be in a coma.
Yeah.
I'd turn into you, Vic. My kidney would fall out. I'd be a diabetic. It'd be terrible. But back then,
in bad shape.
That was just the fuel. All right. Speaking of Rob. When you used to eat 8 Pop-Tarts, Dr. Torres said, "Stop that."
Don't tell Dr. Torres.
You chose the right flavor. At least it wasn't one of those gross peanut butter or the chocolate and marshmallow ones.
S'mores disgusting.
Yeah, Dr. Torres wouldn't let me eat that or a lot of stuff. And if you did, it wouldn't be the end of the world. That's one of the reasons Torres and his clients and patients have been so successful, is that he puts together programs that you can be successful with. This is not internet-based crash diet science. This is stuff that is actually medical science when Dr. Torres works with you. And that's why he's been so successful, because the science has never changed. You lose weight by taking in fewer calories than you burn. After that, it's how you do it that matters. And Dr. Torres has put together programs individually for me and many others that have proven to be successful, not just in a month, not just in a year, but for the rest of his patients' lives. And that's what he wants. He wants you to live a longer, healthier life. He named his practice the Institute for Functionally Health. And if you're not functionally healthy, even if you feel, or even if you're told you're healthy, if you don't feel good, you're not healthy. And at the end of the day, don't we want to chase that? Feel good, live longer. That's the idea. And look good in fashionable clothes, right? If it's time for you to lose weight, if the doctors are telling you, or you're just tired of looking in the mirror and seeing what you're seeing, call Dr. Torres today. What he does works. It won't be the easiest thing you ever do, but it will absolutely be the best thing you do. Go to his website, iffhealth.com. It's a great resource for what he does and why he's been so effective. But the best thing you can do is actually talk to the man. The number's 210-468-1891. He'll be happy to talk with you and explain why he does what he does and how he's been so successful. But when it's time to lose weight, there's no better option than the Institute for Functional Health. Call him today, change your life. And when you do, come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. It's been a heck of a morning rush hour. 281 southbound, Jones-Maltzberger. Got an accident. It's off to the shoulder. It's still causing a 20-minute delay. Slow from Stone Oak Parkway. 35 northbound, Pat Booker Road. That's stalled right lane. 35 southbound, Thousand Oaks. Stalled center lane. That's causing a 90-minute delay. 151 eastbound, Callahan to Old Highway 90. That's closed with an overturned 18-wheeler accident. 90 eastbound, 1604. Got another crash. On 410 westbound, Fredericksburg. Brand new accident here. They quickly moved it off to the shoulder, still causing a 20-minute delay. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Tragically, recent data reveals that 40% of women in Texas will experience intimate partner violence. Christie's Hope is dedicated to breaking the cycle of domestic violence by providing shelter, healing, and counseling, and empowering survivors to take their first steps towards lasting safety and independence. Thomas J. Henry stands with us in our commitment to end domestic violence. Donate today at christieshope.org.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you've been waiting and waiting to get your eyes taken care of, tired of wearing those glasses, tired of wearing those contacts, what are you waiting for? Now is the time to get it done. At Manrique Custom Vision Center, Dr. Manrique prides himself in getting you out of those glasses or contacts with his blade and pain-free LASIK, which is totally safe and comfortable. It will give you the best possible vision, and you can throw out the glasses and contacts. They've got over 25 years of experience, and they've done over 72,000 laser vision corrections. They offer financing to all with up to 36 months interest-free. Give them a call today to set it up. 210-354-2020. Come and see the Manrique difference for yourself. Every patient benefits from a customized vision plan that they bring to life with state-of-the-art technology, a variety of options to help make your treatment an investment you can afford and the right people. Change your vision, change your life today. It's Manrique, 210-354-2020.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee through May 30th. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, joining us now on the Buyer's Barricade guest line. From Arosty, you know him, you love him, Dr. Jason Garrett. Good morning, Dr. Garrett. How we doing?
I'm doing better now after that intro.
Good. I like to make you feel good, boss. To make you feel
once
good.
Once a week.
Injections. That's right, baby. That's it. Doc, it's that time of year where malingerers have to stop malingering and keep playing basketball, even when they want to get out of it. They gotta fight through these days, because now if you start crying about stuff in the playoffs, nobody feels bad for you. Dame Lillard came back last night. He said, I was winded pretty quick. Now, he's had this thrombosis. He's on blood thinners. What's the expectation for someone coming back from this? Like, is it going to take him a while to work his way into game shape? Is his cardiovascular going to be limited because of this? What's the what in your mind is like a reasonable expectation for a guy like Dame Lillard?
Honestly, a guy like that with his experience and work ethic and his ability, I would expect within one series him being pretty much back to normal. Because game or playoff time, you're going to push yourself a little bit harder, go outside your norm, so he'll catch up a little quicker than he would during the regular season.
When you're dealing, is he playing on blood thinners? Is that common, or do you get weaned off of that because of the potential for bruising and all the internal bleeding possibilities?
Typically, they don't want you to come back until they get you off blood thinners. So I don't know exactly what the protocol is. It's not like it's against the law. It's just you don't really want to be on blood thinners playing a contact sport because you can bruise pretty bad.
Does that affect your wind? I mean, obviously the conditioning does, but just the thickness of your blood? I mean, does that affect it as well?
No, really just the time off of not playing is the biggest thing that's going to impact him.
Makes sense.
The Lance switch to baseball. I don't know if I should ever believe anything about Lance McCullers Jr. Lance McCullers Jr. is supposedly throwing a bullpen session. This has been a guy who's had multiple elbow injuries, Tommy John multiple times now. At some point, I know that people say, well, when you come back from Tommy John, your arm is stronger than ever. But is there a point where you come back or you never are the same as you are? Like, is there a point where you've had enough issues or enough surgery on that elbow that it can never be the same?
Yeah, I mean, one Tommy John surgery, you can come back and be as good or better. Multiple surgical procedures on any joint creates a ton of scar tissue. It changes the integrity of the joint. It changes the way you move. So now your shoulder is going to have to pick up the slack, or your wrist. So something else is going to have to give if it's not the elbow itself. Yeah, more procedures does not ever equal 100%.
As we go into the draft coming in the next couple hours, we're going to look at all the pertinence for every player, their height, their weight, their speed, and all that kind of stuff. When we look at the players and their physical conditioning now, how much do they have to do to maintain themselves to get ready for their OTAs? Because right now they're in peak condition and they've done everything they do and they're about to head into work. What's an off-season workout schedule look like for a guy who's trying to get stronger, maybe, keep his weight up at the same time and be ready to play? I'm always intrigued by how the maintenance goes on in the offseason. If you were healthy, where would you be right now? Are you putting on weight to thin down later? I mean, what do you do to get ready for your first practice in May?
Yeah, most of these guys, or pretty much all NFL teams, have strength and conditioning guys that will give guys programming or give the programming to their personal strength and conditioning guy. And at this level, if you're not doing that, you're not going to last very long. So you're going to come in pretty much game ready every single year. You can take a week or two off in the off season, but it takes so much to get that fitness and that strength and just that explosiveness back. You've got to maintain your conditioning pretty much year round. So right now they're going to get as strong as they possibly can, as fast as they possibly can. Not only just putting on strength, but putting on speed and conditioning, getting as ready as they can to take those first few hits. Because once you start hitting, that's a totally different thing. So with pads and without, you can be the fastest, strongest guy, but if you can't tolerate the hits because you haven't conditioned well enough, you're not going to last very long.
Will Johnson, a corner from Michigan, early in the draft process, people were saying, he's a top five pick. Well, he decided not to run a 40, and now there are teams flagging his knee, and the quote is, it shouldn't affect him in the short term, but teams are concerned it could impact his longevity. Is that, like, what kind of a knee issue would be not a concern in the short term, but something you would have to worry about long term? What could that possibly be?
So 2 things. I don't know his history, but if he did ever have a microfracture surgery a couple years ago, basically you get 2 years of 100%, and then it slowly starts to erode. That's what Reggie Bush had.
Okay.
When he came back really good. They make little tiny fractures in the end plates of the joint. It helps kind of repair the meniscus as an artificial meniscus. It's magical for about 2 years. So that could be one of them. Or if he's had any history of meniscus tears generally, you can come back from that pretty quickly, but it does accelerate the arthritic process and creates a little more degeneration. So that could be an issue going forward.
That microfracture surgery was all in vogue not too long ago. Have they lost confidence in it, or they just realized there's a shelf
better
life?
way?
Yeah, I think they find better ways with stem cells, with the different peptides they have now to get guys to heal a little faster. And then they realize that, it works really well for 2 years, and then it kind of falls apart.
Novel.
All right, that is Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. Doc, we appreciate all the insight as always, and we will talk to you again next week, my friend.
All right, thanks, guys.
Dr. Garrett and all guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. All right, I promised to give away that medal. I got to do it. Vic, let's let's just do caller number 5. Lucky caller number 5.
All right.
You are the champion. You will get that fancy, in-demand San Antonio Sports Star Fiesta medal. It's a limited edition. Very, very limited. We're very cheap around here. We're not making a million of these things.
I don't even know how many we have. I just know it's not much.
I know. Yeah, you want it. You better win it now because it ain't going to be around for long. I've got one. Mine will be for sale after Fiesta.
It'll be on eBay?
At that point, it becomes a collectible.
It's my only medal, so I have to wear it when I go to my first Fiesta party. But after that, I will sell it on the black market, and I expect it to go for many, many, many dollars. Pesos. Yes,
not dollars.
Right. That's right. Exactly. Be like Kenny Powers when he was trying to sell all his stuff online. He's like, I put my home run bet up for $5,000 and it sold for $7,000. He's like, you screwed me out of $4,993. All right. The Dame Lillard thing, I think, should be a real concern. I think maybe they rushed him back because they panicked about how crappy they played in Game 1.
They rushed him back.
He looked so bad.
He rushed back too. I mean,
I
don't blame him for wanting to play, but he appeared so physically winded that there's just not a lot of there. Now, I do like what Garrett said. I do appreciate the fact that that first game out, you got to see where your wind is. I do think he'll be better prepared and ready in Game 2 or Game 3.
Did you see Peyton Pritchard? You were right. 6th Man of the Year. They've announced that award. He's the winner. Not really a surprise. He was the favorite, but
and I'm glad.
Man, the Celtics just continue.
Because
poor Celtics. They
in the 6th man, that's the guy that when you're a coach of kids and you tell them, look, star in your role. Just do what you're supposed to do and do it as best as you can, and good things will happen. Peyton Pritchard is starring in his role. I mean, this dude he's a 6-foot white jump shooter who just through sheer effort and work got himself into the league and then worked himself into 6th man. It's a great story. Now, he comes highly regarded, obviously, but starring in your role is no more apparent than what he does. He does what he does great.
And I had a kid who played a different position in almost every game. He was always in the lineup. He wasn't like the best hitter. He was probably like my eighth hole hitter, but I could play him at like 6 different positions, and he was good on the field at all of them. He had a spot.
Yeah.
I got a spot for you, kid. And I remember his dad coming to talk to me about it and was like, we'd really like to see him get
a lot of time at second.
Become like so we can. And I'm like, quite frankly, man, like this is the best thing about your kid is that he's pretty good everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not great at any one thing, and he's not enough of a hitter that like you'll find a place for him no matter what. But I value the fact that if my shortstop has to pitch this game, I can play him at shortstop. If my left fielder has to pitch next game, I can play him in left field. Like there is something to these guys who can just fit a role, and he's done it really well with the Celtics.
And it's such a hard thing to accept if you've always been something else. And then step into that and go, you know what, this is good for me and everybody else. And to see the success and
like
get a bump and pay and all that because he chose to do it this way.
Like you said, everybody who's in the NBA was at one point the best guy that anybody knew.
Mm-hmm.
And to be the sixth man and be able to work into that role, just like this kid on his 9U team was probably the superstar.
Right.
Eventually you work your way into those that if you're able to adjust to those new roles, that's the guys that are truly valuable. I mean, obviously superstars are that's what everybody's bread is buttered with, but congratulations to him.
I can tell you who's going to win it next year.
Who?
Detroit.
Beasley.
He set the table.
My God.
He set the table to
I don't know
man next year.
I don't know that they're going to let him be a sixth man next year.
Well,
I think
that's
they're
just
going
that
to
he might
have
get paid and be on the floor. But I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for Pritchard and the ridiculous shooting he had this year, Beasley matters to that team. He really is he's a sixth starter. He's not a sixth man.
Yeah, that's the way I look at him too. Arkansas, Nico Yamilava, his brother bailed out on Arkansas. And Hunter Yurachek, the Arkansas AD, wasn't too pleased about it. And here's what he said. And this is what we've talked about this before. I expect this to kind of, we don't really have time to get into this. So that's what we'll do. We'll hit a break here. And on the other side, I want to talk about this because schools are kind of getting tired of kids taking the money and running. And Arkansas may be the first one to really fight back on it to the point where there may be like legal ramifications. So we'll talk about that next. 1 hour to go, 34 hours, 6 minutes, and 15 seconds till the draft. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
If you've been waiting and waiting to get your eyes taken care of, tired of wearing those glasses, tired of wearing those contacts, what are you waiting for? Now is the time to get it done. At Manrique Custom Vision Center, Dr. Manrique prides himself in getting you out of those glasses or contacts with his blade and pain-free LASIK, which is totally safe and comfortable. It will give you the best possible vision, and you can throw out the glasses and contacts. They've got over 25 years of experience, and they've done over 72,000 laser vision corrections. They offer financing to all with up to 36 months interest-free. Give them a call today to set it up. 210-354-2020. Come and see the Manrique difference for yourself. Every patient benefits from a customized vision plan that they bring to life with state-of-the-art technology, a variety of options to help make your treatment an investment you can afford and the right people. Change your vision, change your life today. It's Manrique, 210-354-2020.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years.
And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been, because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this: the insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
And Doug. Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. It's been a heck of a morning rush hour. 281 southbound, Jones-Maltzberger. Got an accident. It's off to the shoulder. It's still causing a 20-minute delay. Slow from Stone Oak Parkway. 35 northbound, Pat Booker Road. That's stalled right lane. 35 southbound, Thousand Oaks, stalled center lane. That's causing a 90-minute delay. 151 eastbound, Callahan to Old Highway 90. That's closed with an overturned 18-wheeler accident. 90 eastbound 1604 got another crash. On 410 westbound Fredericksburg, brand new accident here. They quickly moved it off to the shoulder, still causing a 20-minute delay. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The NBA playoffs continued last night as the Milwaukee Bucks fell again to the Indiana Pacers, 123-115. The Freak had 34. All five Pacers starters were in double figures. Oklahoma City continued to be dominant as they took down the Grizzlies 118-99. The series moves to Memphis. The Lakers clamped down on the Minnesota T-Wolves, took them back to 1995. Final score 94-85. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, yes, it's the final hour on Hump Day. Yeah. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 33 hours, 58 minutes, and 49 seconds from the NFL draft, in case anyone was wondering.
I think it's getting further away.
No,
Further away.
No, guys. Madden Iamaliava, and the brother of Nico, who's already been under his own scrutiny, decided that 2 hours after he entered the transfer portal, Hunter Yurachek said, Bubba, that ain't going to work for me. You either pay your NIL buyout or we're coming after you. And players all around the country back in January cashed in their NIL checks and then hopped directly into the portal in the spring before playing a game. And now Arkansas, in most places like Arkansas, have put wording into their NIL deals that, hey, man, you back out of this deal, there ain't no free rides. Let's remember that. In the NFL, you get your guaranteed money. It's not like you can just say, I'm out now. You're stuck. Hunter Yurachek says, I've spoken with the leadership program at Arkansas Edge. Now, Arkansas Edge is their collective, and expressed my support in their pursuit to enforce their rights under any agreement violated by our student athletes moving forward. We appreciate their investment in our student athletes and acknowledge the enforcement of these agreements is vital in our new world of college athletics. We look forward to continued dialogue with all parties resolving these matters. Now, there's tons of players who have ignored buyout language in these contracts. It's happening a lot. And there's debate in legal circles whether these NIL contracts are even legal.
I'm not even sure these are legal in the purest personal services contract kind of thing. Because in a sense, this is what they are. But the contract is to the collective, not to the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's some vagaries here. And you can say we're going to come after you for the money. I can say I probably fulfilled my end of the deal. I don't know unless it is explicitly written that to get my money, I have to attend practice 5 days a week. I have to play in games on set. I don't know what exactly are my services, and are they clearly delineated on this contract? And if they're not, I don't know how you come after it.
Madden Iamaleava, one day after Nico signed with UCLA, he told the coaches at Arkansas that I'm homesick and I want to go back to California. I think my response would be, cool. As soon as you pay your money back, you're free to go.
Well, he's free to go no matter what. You can't stop him.
Well, we'll see.
Well, you can't. I mean, you might get the money back.
That's what I'm saying. We'll see if they're able to recoup that money. He agreed to a 1-year NIL deal with the Arkansas Edge Collective. He was a 4-star prospect. The average so the details aren't out, but the average guy in his quarterbacks of that range was about $500,000 during the winter signing period. And contracts commonly include language requiring players to reimburse 50% of the money remaining on their deal should they leave for another school. Iamaleava had roughly 8 months remaining on his contract, which means it's probably still a 6-figure buyout. One NIL contract dispute is not going to take the legs out of an NIL or of a collective. But if this becomes habit, these money men are going to be like, not our thing. We're out.
Or no, I think the money men are always going to be there. They're going to build into these contracts just about it's going to be inescapable. They're going to lock you in no matter what. That's the only answer to this. And this might, in fact, be the answer to the transfer portal issue.
It's not have a buyout. Like, this is the contract. You're here for a year, whether you like it or not.
Or there's so much money in this, AJ, that there's enough money for buyouts. I mean, if there's enough money for me to pay $500,000 to a freshman quarterback, I can come up with some to buy another quarterback out. So I don't think even the money is the issue here. I think the key to this is finding if this is the way that the NCAA wants to keep the portal in check. There's a couple of ways to do it. One is to pay the players, and they're under contract with the university, which isn't in place now but seems to be imminent. Or there's this, where the collective, you sign a deal with us, you can leave, you can't play football anywhere else, and you're going to owe us. That might, in fact, let the free market fix the problem, because the free market can't be this free because everybody hates it. so we can allow this to be the thing. I don't think this is the best idea because we're dealing with 18-year-olds who are going to make some mistakes. Now, they can hire their representatives, and we expect that. I think the fix will come once they're paid by the school, and then there's some enforcement abilities. Right now, this is so vague, and the other part of this is, AJ, I don't want to be the school to be known as the litigious one that sues everybody that leaves, because then I'll never get anybody to sign, because I don't know, I might get there and hate it. I don't know.
I think that once we get to the point where what's this college sports commission or whatever they're talking about, like it's going to the power conferences are putting together this commission that is basically going to oversee what they're hoping to be a revenue sharing process with the players.
And the judge cleared the way last week.
Yeah. To me, for the players, the only thing that really makes sense at this point is collective bargaining and like making sure that you have a representative at the negotiating table, and that way you can figure these things out. And now some of it might be like healthcare.
Well, that's imminent. Yes,
so, it's going to be, but a lot of it could also be this is how the transfer portal windows operate, and this is how NIL operates. The problem with that is because the universities still don't want to say these are employees. It's not as black and white as.
Well, they're going to have to. That they don't want to, but they're going to have to for a lot of reasons. And part of it will be as once you're an employee of this university, we have tamper rules. They can't talk to you anymore. They can't come calling because you're an employee now. We've got tampering, and that stops that. But when you do that, you're going to have to offer health care and all kinds of other stuff that they're not probably ready to offer. So there's going to be a lot of talk as to how they're employed. But that's really, at the end of the day, they're going to be the most likely fix unless they leave it to this, where the collectives and those that pay just contractually bind you to this school separate and apart from your athleticism. You are now under our employ for the 3 years until we tell you otherwise.
Well, the other thing I think will come with this revenue sharing situation is, and this is something the players will not like, is I think that the money will likely become public knowledge, like what the actual deal is, which means no longer is it going to be like,
I don't know.
This is what this team's offering.
Well, I'm not sure if Baylor will ever have to tell you. I'm not sure if SMU will have to tell you. They're a private school, and there's no unless the universities or the conferences force them to be public.
If they want to be part of this commission and they want to have these I don't know what the choice will be, but you're right that those
I think
schools
what'll happen is they'll set a standard. This is X, and you can't pay beneath X, and you can't go over Y. This is the dollar amount you can offer, and it'll be in this window, and we'll all know that everybody's in that window, whether we publicize individuals, schools, or players. Actual amount will be different.
Now, NIL collectives, that money was still going to be...
It's dark money.
You're right. Yep. But revenue sharing money, the public institutions at least won't have an option.
No, they won't, and we'll know how much money each school's getting. We can do the math ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, and we'll be able to break it down to the university, and you can figure out, the going rate.
I think the thing is, like, these kids now are using the curtain of uncertainty as to their advantage.
Yeah.
Like, they're saying, oh, well, this is how much this guy's making, or this is how much I got offered here, and there's no way to back it up.
No.
Like the Arkansas NIL collective isn't going to call the A&M NIL collective and say, did you guys really offer this kid $600K? And what's A&M going to say? No,
or yes,
or but do you trust? Like,
no,
why?
That's why this is so chaotic, because there is the vagaries of I don't even know what the Joneses are doing.
Yeah,
what did they offer Lamalea this money, or is he just leaving because he's a baby? I mean, what's going on here? This is the worst case scenario, but at least with every passing move, we're getting closer and closer to creating some sort of continuity in college sports where you don't have 3 portal days and teams like Baylor with literally 0 dudes on the roster a week after the season. That is going to go away. This is untenable.
I agree with that. And most of the time when we're talking about this NIL stuff, we're talking about football, but you bring up the basketball roster and which, the basketball roster can be even more affected because there's only 15 guys, versus although I guess one quarterback moving can change the outlooks for a football team more than any one player moving is going to change for a basketball team.
We just watched UCLA and Tennessee literally trade quarterbacks.
Yeah. Somebody was saying the most ideal situation here is those two teams trade quarterbacks. They get matched up in a bowl game, and then both quarterbacks sit out.
Absolutely, at halftime.
Sit out the bowl game. That's exactly what will happen. All right, let's hit our last break of the day. And we do have two more. Never mind. Yeah. All right. But when we come back, we'll look at what's going on in the world outside of sports. I got to tell you guys about Manrique Custom Vision before we do hit this break, though. And you're probably one of these people who has to wear glasses or contacts. A lot of people do. And it's not ideal. It's not fun. I know a guy who says he has to literally, sleep with glasses on his shirt because if he wakes up in the morning, he'll never be able to find them if they're not connected to his body. Imagine not having to deal with that. Imagine just you take your you take your contacts, you throw them in the trash can. You don't need them anymore. You take your glasses, you don't need them anymore. You get the best possible vision without any assistance, and that's where Manrique comes in. Blade-free, pain-free LASIK, and no need for glasses or contacts. Dr. Manrique has over 25 years experience. He's done over 72,000 of these laser vision corrections. And if you're worried about the money part of it, stop, because they offer financing up to 36 months, interest-free. Give them a call today. See what they can do for you. 210-354-2020. Come see the Manrique difference for yourself. That's 210-354-2020. Change your life, change your vision. Manrique Custom Vision.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. It's been a heck of a morning rush hour. 1604 eastbound approaching Bitters. A new accident here. That's a 25-minute delay. Has you stop and go from Culebra. 281 southbound 410. This rig, even though it's off to the right shoulder, still causing a 15-minute delay. Slow from Stone Oak Parkway. A stall at 35 northbound approaching Pad Booker Road is in the right lane. 410 northbound approaching Ingram, accident right lane. And we still have this closure at 151 eastbound Callahan to Old Highway 90 involving an overturned 18-wheeler. And it's still very heavy along 35 southbound from FM 3009 on down to Randolph Boulevard. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
Exclusive sponsor of Fiesta San Antonio, Gomez Law Firm encourages you to enjoy Fiesta responsibly. For more than 50 years, attorney Joe A. Gomez has been helping victims seriously injured in car and trucking accidents. If you've been injured in a car or trucking accident, hire personal injury attorney Joe Gomez. Born and raised right here in San Antonio. Visit joegomezlaw.com or call 210-736-4040 for a free consultation. Gomez Law fights. Gomez Law cares. Viva Fiesta.
Empower. Nick bought a new guitar, a 62 American Classic Electric. Does he know how to play? No. But Nick's Empower investment account has performed well. He got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risks. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a really, really, really good guitar solo.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, Joe Q. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kickstart it, baby. Put out. Kickstart my heart. This gal, Hannah Cavender.
Uh-huh.
I love this. She's a basketballer.
Okay.
And there was somebody videoed her talking about Carson Beck, who Carson Beck, former Georgia quarterback, who is now going to be the quarterback at Miami.
Okay.
But so this is this gal is one of the Cavender twins. Hannah Cavender, the two chicks that play the two women that play Miami Lady basketball, that both also happen to be very attractive. So they're like these super influencers, but they're just not really that good at basketball, or at least statistically they're not anything special, but they're really hot. So they have a large social media following, and yeah, the Cavender twins, we call them, Rob.
They're actually pretty good.
Okay, well, I mean, I saw it looked like 5-6 points per game.
Got a Cowboy shirt on. She's a Cowboy fan. Yeah,
well,
oh my goodness, yeah.
Hannah, the one that was dating Carson Beck.
Yeah.
The rumors were that she broke up with him because he cheated on her, and she got caught on video with her sister talking to another gal, and they were like, "Yeah, that rumor, that's not true. That's not why I broke up with him. I broke up with him because of who he is as a person. He's a terrible person, and no one likes him. Like, he's on his phone all the time, and it's like, it's not because he's getting all these texts. No one texts him because nobody likes him. He doesn't have any friends. He's an unlikable person."
Really?
Well, says the jilted girl.
Well, no, she dumped him.
Well, so she says.
Well,
I'm just saying that's just one side of the story. I don't know. He might be a bad dude.
Who was it, Hannah or Haley?
Hannah.
Hannah? Okay.
Yeah, Hannah's the one who got out of that.
Well, I hear Hannah's a real bee.
Not me. I think she's a sweet gal. But after the breakup, Carson Beck got $4.3 million to transfer to Miami. Apparently, that's the number.
Man.
It's a good day. You'd think, like, man, everything's going his way. But then again, those rumors, the cheating rumors, were out there, and she said that's not true.
Were they dating before he got there?
I think they were already talking, and then that.
So is that one of the reasons he went?
Solidified, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she's like a recruiting tool. Put her out there to bring him in.
Yeah.
All right.
It seems
pretty good idea, really.
Possible. Yeah, I would say that's possibly true. But yeah, I wonder if that is the thought, the general thought in the locker room of football. Like, does nobody like this guy? Because remember, he was supposed to be the next big thing at Georgia. He took over for Stetson Bennett, a guy who was like a walk-on, who everyone seemed to really have a ton of respect for, and won over the locker room. And then, beat out. Remember, he beat out JT Daniels, who was like the 5-star top dog, and this walk-on beats him out. And all his teammates were like, "Yeah, we want to play with Stetson. That's our guy."
Well, I saw Draft Day with Kevin Costner.
Okay, and this is what they didn't go to his birthday
very
party.
much that no one went to his birthday party.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the Cavender. I don't know. I tend to believe these Cavender gals. I believe women. Just
that look like that. Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
I'll believe anything you say.
Yes, anything you say, Hannah. I believe it. I believe he's an unlikable person. A Brooklyn man has admitted to a bit of a crime. Michael Carter. Oh gosh.
Oh, here we go. What is it?
I want you to spell this out on the screen, Vic, and then I'm going to have you pronounce this guy's last name.
All right, hold on. Let me put it right. Okay, go ahead.
All right. KHODORKOVSKIY.
Let's see.
I'm going to say Shodarkovsky.
Shodarkovsky?
Kind of like Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
That silent K to start. I'm going to say Shodarkovsky.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I was going to say Khodorkovsky.
But I think that KH means something. I throw a shot.
What is this? Turkey? Turkish?
No, he's Mexican.
Well, Southern Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said orderly way.
He's from.
No, I don't know. But either way,
it's got a word dork in it. So
he's pleaded guilty to the criminal sale of a controlled substance for selling cocaine.
Well, that's controlled.
He had he basically had a cocaine delivery service set up.
What?
Well,
he was basically DoorDash for cocaine.
Wow.
I'm not surprised.
Well, yeah.
Back in the day, you had to kind of go, you had to go to the guy's seedy house or whatever and get your cocaine. This guy was door-to-door service. Now he's facing up to 10 years, which is unfortunate.
Did he have an app?
Yes. Yeah. He had his own. I mean,
what?
I appreciate it.
He was found, and when he got busted, he was found with 1.25 kilos of cocaine, about 2.2 pounds.
Holy
Dude,
moly.
he was busy.
Yeah.
He was awake.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This guy knew how to party, but he accidentally sold some to a cop, and that's generally
that's usually what happens.
A man managed to get it's a toy, like a kid's toy, one of those those balls that have flashing lights, like you hit the ball and it starts flashing.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like a Simon or something.
And then you smack it again, or you throw it again, and then the light turns off. Mm-hmm. A man got one of those stuck inside his body.
1 in a million shot, Doc. 1 in a million. 1 in a million.
And it was flashing.
Through his skin.
This was a 6.5 centimeter diameter ball. So I'd say about the size of a baseball, maybe a tennis ball, probably more like it, a tennis ball.
Or a racquetball, maybe a little bit
was
smaller?
this in America or in some
This is what?
other country?
How long did you say?
6.5 centimeters.
Yeah, about.
I think it's more like.
Yeah, maybe
maybe between a racquetball and a tennis ball. He went into the hospital complaining of severe pain and eventually admitted that there was something stuck up there.
2.5 inches.
The 2.5 inches. So it is like a racquetball. The ball was a transparent sphere with 2 cartoon faces on either side of it. It also contained smaller ball bearings and a red liquid.
What?
Yeah. An anal digital examination revealed that the ball was stuck in the man's rectum about 7 centimeters from the entry point. So we got it way up there.
Nope.
The man was 62 years old. He was given a minor colonoscopy, which found a higher than normal blood flow in the area, as well as swelling of the mucus
Why
membrane.
are we hearing all this? Why did I get the diagnosis?
What
the hell?
Just so you know.
I got enough info already. I don't need to know about swollen mucus glands. Just give me the headline.
It looks like it's got a...
oh, my God. Why did you show me that?
And due to copyright reasons, we can't show that on the stream.
It's like it's some kind of liquid that when it flashes, it makes the...
Rob's ruined.
Yeah. Yep.
Did we get what the instructions were when he get home?
Oh, yeah.
Anything like lay on your stomach and don't eat anything solid?
Well, here's what they did. They said they pierced they put him under a general anesthetic. They pierced the ball. They drained all the liquid out.
Oh my God.
And because the size of the ball was reduced as the air rushed out, and then they used forceps and a foreign body clamp.
You know, somebody went to school for about 16 years to get to do that.
Yeah.
They went to school. The smartest guy you know, smartest girl you ever met, had to do that yesterday.
They probably charged the insurance.
Oh,
$100 grand.
That's hazard pay right there.
Yeah. Amongst other things that have been found inside men's...
not this one, but just in
not
general?
this one, but just this year. Deodorant cans, lighter fluid bottles, coffee jars, a whole orange... an egg, an axe handle, a Gatorade bottle, and a Windex, like a cleaning supply bottle. And most of them are the doctors call it, they say most of them are the result of sexual misadventure.
Let's hope so.
Sexual misadventure. Oh,
big world out there, AJ. It's a big world. A lot going on out there.
A man in Union County, Oregon, has been arrested. 2 counts of bias crime.
What's that?
I think it's like a hate crime.
Oh, okay. All
right. According to court documents, LeGrand, Oregon police were called to report of a man pointing a gun at men on a cell phone tower near the fire department. Police determined the suspect, who was later identified as Michael Patrick Haynes, was angry they were working on a Sunday. He was yelling racial slurs and telling them this is America and they don't belong here. A witness also took a photo of Haynes holding a shotgun and staring up at the workers. He was yelling at them, flipping them off, pointing a shotgun at them, also fired a pepper gun into the air. They said they feared they would be shot if they tried to climb down from the cell phone tower. They later made contact with him at his home, and he admitted to having the shotgun, but said it was for self-defense. Officers, unsurprisingly, noted that Haynes was extremely intoxicated when interviewed.
Highly agitated, and he hates cell phone towers.
Yes, he does, and hates Latin Americans.
Was he one of those like anti-5G guys?
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he thought they were aliens, and like not that kind of alien, like not illegal aliens. He thought they were actual aliens.
I think they're aliens.
A substitute teacher has been accused, and this is, of course, in Florida, 20-year-old Florida woman, has been charged with 2 counts of child neglect and 8 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor when she tried to set up a middle school fight club. Taisha Holmes was arrested when officials saw a video on her parents saw a video on her child's cell phone of an in-class altercation between 2 students the day before. The video appears to show Holmes holding back one student who is being taunted by another. As they both continue to argue, Holmes can be heard telling them to deal with their issues outside of school at the park. One of the kids wasn't a student in the class. Holmes had requested the front desk send the student who wasn't in the class into her classroom. And they basically said, let's take it outside. And then they went outside to the park. And now she's been arrested and released on $35,000 bond. But the good old school fight club, middle school fight club.
You got to grow up tough, man.
That'll get you in trouble.
3 O'Clock High. Is that the movie? 3 O'Clock High?
An underappreciated, excellent movie, 3 O'Clock High.
Yeah.
And finally, Rob, you'll be glad to know. You'll be very glad to know. The Tennessee Board of Parole on Tuesday recommended a pardon for country music star Jelly Roll.
Has he been convicted of bad music?
He has spoken openly about his criminal record and what it's taken to overcome it. And he wants to be able to travel internationally to perform and share his message of redemption. And the board issued its non-binding recommendation unanimously after hearing a hearing that lasted about an hour and 45 minutes with several witnesses, including Nashville Sheriff Darren Hall, advocating for the 40-year-old musician. His real name is Jason DeFord. One board member recused themselves from voting, but he is now a big star. He's not been able to leave the country.
Right.
And
I thought it was
now
'cause of tariffs.
His most serious convictions were a robbery at age 17, drug charges at age 23. And in the first case, a female acquaintance helped Jelly and two other young men enter a house.
Oh, that's right.
Both of the others were carrying guns, although Jelly himself was unarmed at the time. They demanded money. They got $350 in a wallet with no money in it. And because the victims knew the female acquaintance, she and Jelly were arrested right away. He was sentenced to serve a year in prison and some extra time on probation. And then later in 2008, police found both marijuana and crack cocaine in his car, and he was sentenced to 8 years of court-ordered supervision. He's also got 2 misdemeanor offenses, driving without a license and possession of paraphernalia. Now, Lee, a Republican, said every case seeking clemency such as pardons is equally important and goes through due process. The reporting on Jelly Roll, that's encouraging for his situation, but there are steps yet to happen in the case. Now, Jelly played this the right way because Jelly used to be looked at as more of a rapper, and then he switched up to the country music. So he's got he's got everybody on his side. Yeah, he's got the rap community, the rap guys, and the country music guys on his side.
I mean, more power to him.
You like Jelly.
I don't appreciate his music.
You're not a fan.
Man, have a backbone. Stand up.
Well, he's that's why he goes by Jelly Roll.
That's what I'm saying.
Literally doesn't have a backbone.
Yeah, because he rolled everywhere.
I'm awful and terrible and pay no
Yeah,
he did lose a lot of weight, though.
Dude.
He did lose a lot of
Has he
weight.
lost a lot?
Yeah.
Has he discovered the glutides, the semi-glutides?
Or maybe he's doing a lot of push-ups and sit-ups. He says, one of the reasons I'm asking for your recommendation for this pardon is because I'm looking to take my message of redemption through the power of music and faith through the rest of the world. I'll still be using this same pardon, God willing, to do missionary work in my 50s and 60s.
All right.
I mean, listen.
Does every other 40-year-old get the same treatment?
Who's going to say no to this guy?
Somebody else who has not sold 1 million records, is he going to get the same treatment as him? That's all.
Look, he lost 100 pounds.
Lee has issued more than 90 pardons since taking office in 2019.
It appears he's earned it. I mean, everybody deserves a second chance.
Good old, Mr. Roll, go out and do your best.
Still looks like a human Muppet.
He does.
He doesn't look human.
He does. All right. Now we'll take our final break of the day.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and we'll talk about the hoops tonight. We'll talk about the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, Arasti providers are all around San Antonio. People ask me all the time, what is Arasti and why should I care? Well, you know, it's hard to define. I can just tell you that they're very, very good at what they do. If you're dealing with painful, a lot of joints, muscles, whatever it might be, that's what Arasti fixes. So if you've got a sprain or a pull, maybe you've rolled an ankle last week and maybe it's a frozen shoulder, tension, headaches, whatever the painful part of your body, if you haven't had a fix or you're just living with it, let Arasti take a crack at it. They're good at fixing those painful things. I had lower back issues. I've got friends with that had plantar fasciitis that Arasti helped. It's a combination of physical therapy. There's chiropractic certainly involved. I can tell you it has nothing to do with medications to diet or hold or to hide the pain. It has nothing to do with surgery or long-term treatment. It's a medical professional fixing the problem and forcing the pain to basically go away. Lower back issues, man, I had them forever. And the first time I staggered in, I could not believe how quickly I felt better. If you're dealing with something that's keeping you out of life, I want you to write this stuff down. First of all, Arasti providers are all around San Antonio, and they accept insurances. And more importantly, they don't require a referral. You can go today. Here's the number. It's 1-800-404-6050. The website is arasti.com. Great map there of all the locations. They're opening new ones all the time. I say it every day. I bet there's one 10 minutes from where you are right now. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. There is a fix, and it's very, very effective. It's Arasti. Call them today. Let them fix you, then you can come on by and thank me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Coach Wade Phillips, I know you love it when TV guys question you. Radio guys are okay, but TV guys...
No, I appreciate you guys. You do a hell of a job.
Thank you, Coach.
Don't tell anybody I said that.
I won't. No, we won't. We won't make that a promo at all. I promise.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. Your San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for the Viva Fiesta Viva Brahmas home opener this Sunday, April 27th at 2 p.m. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Get your tickets today at uflbrahmas.com. That's uflbrahmas.com for tickets. Our town, our team, our herd.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-770-2727. 800-770-2727.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group. Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
It's here, Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. Take an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. Explore an expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. But hurry, this limited-time sale ends April 27th, and we're even open this Sunday. Don't miss out. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for details.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Don't stand so close to me. $33 hours, 18 minutes, and 47 seconds until the NFL draft, Rob.
I can't wait. Pins and needles, edge of my seat. Almost there.
Nice visual.
Oh. Move your toe. Move your toe, girl. Oh, yes. The idea of that draft happening has me so fired up.
Hey, didn't he have some more drama?
Yeah, he's getting sued by that gal.
Mm-hmm.
She wants some dough.
Oh, the one he went live with?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was
We don't know if it's her because she's a Jane Doe, but in the pleadings, and she did say that she was both audio and videoed.
Recorded.
And we know we've heard an audio.
Yeah. Poor gal.
Did you see?
She was just trying to have sex without someone watching her. And, damn Shannon Sharp.
Come on, Shannon.
These guys don't know how to act. You give these guys some money and they all act crazy, man. Joy Taylor acting crazy. Shannon Sharp acting crazy. Everybody on TV acting crazy. Nick Wright, I'm sure he's well, I don't know. I don't have any proof of that. I imagine he's probably actually really lame.
Nick Wright?
Yes.
Nick Wright is a vampire in his off hours.
Yeah. I'll never understand how Nick Wright made it. Like how he's one of the top guys over there. It's fascinating to me. But, I digress. None of my business. Dude, congratulations. He played his cards right. I still think he's a fraud and a huckster, but he played his cards right. All right, let's do what we always do to wrap up the show and take a look at the Daily Line.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the Daily Lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
The Orlando Magic head into Boston tonight. Boston likely without Jason Tatum. Doesn't seem to matter to odds makers. The Celtics 10.5-point favorites at home. Even without their best
Orlando
player.
Here.
You like them to cover?
10.5, that's big.
Without
a big Tatum, I mean, we already have talked about Boston upset with how physical Orlando's playing, and that's to limit possessions and do the things that they're going to do. I think they're going to lose, but I think 10.5 is awfully big.
Well, remember the Lakers complained about the Timberwolves' physicality, and they came out and
look what happened.
Spanked some ass. Maybe the Celtics, maybe they had a tough practice, and they said, we're going to toughen up. We're going
they're going to whoop them.
Fire with fire.
But 10 points is big. Paolo Banchero and Wagner, those two dudes are a bucket. They're going to keep them in it.
Cleveland Cavaliers, 12-point favorites against the Miami Heat.
I like them. They're going to cover that.
You like the Cavs?
It's just a terrible matchup,
It does seem pretty unwinnable for them. The game that we didn't really talk about much today, and probably, the only competitive game, at least on paper, before the game, is Golden State and the Rockets. Rockets lose game one. The odds makers expect them to bounce back today.
Yeah.
The Rockets are 3-point favorites in game two. And generally, when the home team loses their first game, they generally bounce back because they were the home team for a reason.
Right.
The higher seeded team.
And there's some of the mission accomplished on the road team. I mean, we Golden State went there. They wanted to get a game. They got it already. Stay healthy, get home, and before you know it, you might have a 3-1 lead.
Well, it's also, now you've been punched in the face.
Yeah.
And the Rockets were a team that, certainly compared to Golden State, doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, doesn't have a lot of big game experience. Now, I think even after you get just one out of the way, it can feel like a little bit of a weight lifted.
I honestly have no idea how Houston's going to react. I really have no concept of what they're going to do. They should just go out and out-athlete them, but I don't know if they're going to. I don't have a feel for this game at all.
I like the Rockets today. I think they do bounce back here in game two. I think that the odds makers know that's what's going to happen.
It feels that way. They should anyway.
On the ice, the Montreal Canadiens, they travel to the Capitals. The Washington Capitals minus 190, Montreal plus 160 on the comeback. Capitals the best team in the East. 190 actually feels kind of cheap at home, although yesterday the freaking Golden Knights were like minus 240 at home, and they lost. So, crazier things have happened. The Stars are at the Avalanche. The Stars, who even things up with the Avalanche in maybe the most miraculous way possible. It looked like they were going to go down 2-0, losing both home games. They came back and won Game 2, but they are not expected to do it in Game 3. The Avalanche, who are the lower seed, mind you, are minus 200 at home against the Dallas Stars. Dallas has kind of been circling the drain, and it looked like maybe they fought their way out of that last game, but I don't expect it to hold. I like the Avalanche tonight. And then the Edmonton Oilers are at the LA Kings. What a wild game that was. The Kings were up at 1 point, 4-1. The Oilers came back with 2 minutes left. The Oilers came back and tied it 5-5. And 45 seconds later, the Kings scored another goal, and that was the end of the game. So, heartbreaking loss in Game 1 for the Oilers. Odds expect this one to be pretty close, too. Minus 130 for the Kings, plus 110 on the Oilers. So, we'll see if the Oilers can get a split on the road. In Major League Baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals are at the Atlanta Braves. Miles Mikolas goes for the Cardinals. Bryce Elder for the Braves. The Braves minus 160 favorites at home. Zach Wheeler goes for the Phillies. They're at the Mets. David Peterson going for the Mets. Phillies minus 120 on the road. Carlos Rodon goes for the Yanks. They are minus 165 on the road at Cleveland. Luis Ortiz goes for the Guardians. Kyle Hart for the Padres. Reese Olson for the Tigers. Tigers minus 165 at home. Brady Singer for the Reds. And Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins. The Marlins minus 120 favorites, short favorites at home.
Singer's had a good
he's
start.
Been the Reds have been pretty solid. Emerson Hancock
Smile when you say that.
goes to take on Sean Newcomb. The Red Sox host the Mariners. Newcomb, Hancock, minus 140 are the Newcombs against the Hancocks. Tomoyuki Sugano. We've learned that he's Japanese, even though Sugano sounds like a Sugano. Hey, Sugano. Yeah, my mom named me Tomoyuki. What's it to you, eh? Tomoyuki is going to go to D.C. The Orioles are at the Nationals. Trevor Williams going for the Nats. The O's are minus 140 favorites. Dodgers are at the Cubbies. Pick 'em ball game here. Pick 'em.
Last night, 11-10, that was beautiful.
Shota Ominaga got the win, or didn't get the win, but he was on the winning team yesterday. They blew it. He was going to get a win, and they blew it. I know that because Shota's on my fantasy team.
Ian Happ, what did he do yesterday? 4 for 5.
Yeah, it's a good day. Herman Marquez takes on Michael Lorenzen. The Royals host the Rockies. The Royals minus 200 favorites. Bryce Wilson goes for the White Sox. David Festa.
It's a party.
It is. It's almost a party. It's all that's missing from the party is I
get it. Unless you're Italian.
Thanks for laughing, Vic. That's my guy. David Festa and the Twins minus 270. Bowden Francis.
Bowden.
Francis. You stole my bike. Francis goes for the Blue Jays. Ryan Mucho Gusto, goes for the Astros. Gusto, minus 115. Andrew Haney goes for the Pirates. Jack Kokonovich, minus 140 for the Angels against the Pirates. Taj Bradley takes on Eduardo Rodriguez. Rays visiting the Diamondbacks. D-backs, minus 140. Frederick Peralta, you may know him as Freddie. I like to call him Frederick. Mama called him Frederick. I'm going to call him Frederick. For the Brewers, Logan Webb for the Giants. Giants minus 140. And what happened yesterday in the Rangers game?
Did you see the backstory on this? There's more to this story.
It's the Patrick Corbin Day
Corbin,
story?
The spider bites?
Yeah.
It's still affecting him. He keeps winning.
He's turned into Spider-Man.
He's Spider-Man now. We don't know why.
Sucks.
But there's been some insect bites. He's won 2 straight.
He's fixed now. This guy couldn't win 2 games in a year last year.
That's a steroid bug.
I bet that's what it is. That's what, like, he injected 2 spots, steroids into his foot, mainlined him, and they're like, oh, no, poor guy.
Yeah. All I know is.
And then they give him a drug test, and he's like, that's spider venom. And they're like, well, this spider is spitting out testosterone. How's this happening?
Well, crime is way down in the Arlington area.
Way down.
I mean,
Kumar Rocker goes for the Rangers today. J.P. Sears for the A's. It's a pick'em game, -110 both ways. The Athletics were warned by the play-by-play announcers were warned by the Athletics organization and the TV network that carries their game to be really careful when pronouncing the name of the A's newest prospect that's getting called up.
Okay.
They said you may want to take an extreme pause between when you say Nick and Kurtz. Kurtz
His name's not
is his
Dick.
last name, but they're worried that if they say it fast enough, it could sound inappropriate.
Well,
so they actually warned the play-by-play announcers to be cautious.
Why wouldn't he just go by Nicholas?
I don't know.
Like, if that is really a concern, just put him in
name.
Nicholas Hertz.
Why did his parents not think of this when they named him Nick? Like, your last name's Kurtz.
You're going to have to own it, man.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to own it.
Yeah, he got beat.
I mean, it's unfortunate that this happened to you. I blame your parents, but you're going to have to own this.
Yeah, you might want to be careful, though, when you're out there throwing that name around. So good luck to the announcers.
I just always fall back to my good friend Peter Burns. I mean, you can make it. You can carry on.
There is
friend
life
Richard
after.
Hertz. He's done fine.
Yep. Yeah. Usually Peters and Richards. They're the easiest ones to go after.
That's if you have the last name of vagina. It's tough. That's the tough one.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a gal that I went to school with. Her last name was Hogg.
That's
H-O-G-G. And she also happened to be
Was she a biggin?
Yeah, life was hard for.
I went to school with a girl
Tisha
named
Hogg.
Wonderlick. Her last name was Wonderlick, and in every health class, the coach would always go, "Wonderlick." Make sure.
I mean, I guess they named the test after somebody.
Wonderlick.
They had to have named the test after.
You earned this? Is this an award?
After somebody. All right, friends. That's going to do it for us. We are 33 hours, 6 minutes, and 37 seconds from the NFL draft, which means we'll be heavy into it tomorrow. And obviously, the NBA playoffs will continue. Rob, best of luck in your ventures away tomorrow.
I will be gone, but when we meet again, the Cowboys will have a new player.
Yes, we will. And Rob will give a full scouting report when he gets back. So I'm gonna see if I can get a guest host in tomorrow. I'm gonna try and guilt Joe Reinagel into coming in and hanging out with me in the morning. You wake up early to go play golf.
Yeah, he's out
Oh, yeah, he's an early bird.
lifting weights, doing manly things.
Blitz coming up at 2. We'll see you tomorrow.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto